Okay. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to all the mentors and scholars in the house, and also welcome to our audience. So today we'll be having the Q&A, question and answer session, for mostly for people that are already on the way with the application process. I think we had a very detailed session of how to go about the application, both in general and we had a separate session for the PhD candidates. So today's session is mostly about questions and answers. So if you've started the application process and you're having any challenges or you have anything that is a little bit confusing, this is your opportunity to ask your questions. So we won't be doing much of a presentation or speaking like the last session. What we'll be doing today is taking questions from the comments and answering them. So today's session is mostly dependent on the participants. So if people in the audience can just let us know that you're around, just comment with your name and your location where you're joining from. So we know that we have people in the audience. And then from there, we will now start taking questions and answering them. So we have scholars from both the master's and the PhD on the call. And so any question that you have, whether it's pertaining to the master's application or the PhD application or any question in general, we'll be able to take that. So let's see if we have any comments or we have any participants. Oh, I can see Rahima. Oh, Rahima, welcome. All the way from Lagos, Nigeria. Okay, do we have more comments? Okay, I'm seeing comments coming in. I can see Ugo from Abuja. I can see Catherine. Oh, I can see, is it Twangem from Zambia, Gideon from Zambia. Okay, yes, okay, yeah. So we have people in the audience. That's good, that's good. Scholars, you can also introduce yourself. So I think maybe if anyone wants to say their name and say what they're doing, then from there, allow the audience to get their questions in and then we take on from there. So yeah, just brief introductions of everyone on the call. Let's start with Chisom.
Hi everyone. Good evening. My name is Chisom Sheremekun. I'm a PhD student. I'm studying bioinformatics. I'm currently studying at University of Munich in Germany. I was a 2021 Commonwealth Place Site PhD scholar. And nice to be here and ready to take your question if you have any. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Chisom. Lillian.
Hi everyone. I'm Lilian Chidi Honora from the University of Manchester, at the University of Manchester, 2021 PhD scholar. Studying medical microbiology at the University of Manchester. I'm happy to be here and waiting for your questions. I hope this can help your application.
Okay, thank you, Lillian. Ejiro, do you want to say something before you said you'll be in and out, so maybe just introduce yourself now.
Yeah, I didn't even know I was in. I just realized that now. I think you also added me in. Hi, so my name is Ejo. I'm a PhD scholar at University of Leeds, and yeah, I'm studying transport planning. So yeah, we're happy to help you. Thank you.
Okay. Uh, Larissa, do you want to talk? Maybe just audio.
Okay, thank you, Buchi. Hello, everyone. I'm Larissa Simo. Doing masters in epidemiology at the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine. Happy to be here.
Okay. Chiwewe, I think. Sorry if I didn't pronounce it properly.
Yes. Hi, I'm Chimwemwe. I'm doing just finished MA International Development at the University of East Anglia, recipient of Commonwealth Scholarship 2022. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Who else have I not called? I can't see the name tags, so I can't see who's I haven't called. If I haven't called, you can just unmute yourself and introduce yourself briefly.
Hi everyone, my name is Mabel Musavi. I'm from Zambia, Commonwealth Masters Scholar 2022-2023. I was at the University of Leeds and I studied transport planning and engineering.
Hi, Mabel. Nice to have you back.
Hi, Buchi.
Okay. I think that's everyone, if I'm right. I think more scholars will be joining on and off the call. So as if anyone comes in, probably have introductions for them. So for now, we'll move straight to the question and answer. So I can see a lot of people have indicated that they're on the call in the comment section. I don't think we have any questions yet. So if you have any question, just put it in, and then it will be displayed on the screen, and then one of the scholars can help us out with the questions. Now, just before we start taking questions, I can see we have one question already on the section. So just before we start taking all the questions, let me just briefly say this. I think the application has been open for almost 2 weeks now. More than 2 weeks, yeah, more than 2 weeks, but we have less than 3 weeks to go till final submissions. So I would say that if you were not in the previous session, you can just go to the same YouTube page you're on now, look for the previous sessions, either the general one or the one for the masters, or the one for the PhD, if you're a PhD applicant. Go through that session. If you also were on the previous session and maybe you've only gone through the session once, I would say you can decide to go through the session again just to refresh your memory. Even after you complete your application and write your essays, you can go through the session again. It might give you some new perspective on what to do. And generally, like we said in the other call, if you have any one-on-one questions, you can always try to reach out to all the scholars on LinkedIn, Facebook, or every other social media platform. So today we're just going to try to answer some questions in general so that we don't keep repeating answers to questions over and over again. And also because some people might have some questions, but they don't really know how to ask them. So someone else might ask the question that you have in mind, and then the answer we provide here can give you a little bit of guidance. And sometimes people ask questions that you didn't know you were supposed to ask, and then you also benefit from their answers. Let me also say that no question is too small or too big. If you think you have something to ask, just put it in the comment section. We'll pick it up and we'll provide as much relevant answers as we can. So I think that's good with the brief preview. So let me try to answer the first question. And the answer to the first question will basically be to go and watch the last session, because I remember in the last session, we talked a lot about how to apply for the scholarship. We provided the links in the comment section for the scholarship application, gave all the full details about it. So I think the best answer to this question would be to go and look at that particular session and try to get as much information from there as possible so that you can have more specific questions. I don't know if anybody else wants to add any answer to that before we move to the next question.
Can the link be dropped again? Because sometimes I'm not able to search for the previous sections, so it would be a good idea if you drop the link for the those who are joining for the first time.
Okay. I'll try to drop the link again.
Okay.
Yeah, let me see if I can do that now. Anybody else wants to contribute to the first question before we move to the second one? I can see a new question up now.
Well, I guess you've already done justice to the question. The simplest way to is to go and watch the video that was the informative session that was held 2 weeks ago And even alternatively, you can just Google how to apply for Commonwealth scholarship. You will see the link to the scholarship, and then you also read everything about it. That will help the person to be more um, informed about Commonwealth scholarship and how to apply. But watching the video will give you a very comprehensive view on different types and what to expect during your application.
Okay, thank you. So let me also just say that I've put the links in the comment section for both the PhD and the master scholarship, which are the current ones that are open. So you can just go there and take the link to take you to the page, and the page has most of the information that you need for the application. So I think it will help you to really guide you if you can read through that whole website. Don't skip any line. Try to read everything because there's a lot of information there. So I think we can move to the next question. Can you apply for both masters and PhD Commonwealth scholarship? Does any scholar want to jump in on this question? Okay, let me first of all say that I do not think you can apply for both masters and PhD in the same cycle because the two applications are different and the two applications require different qualifications to apply for. Now, if you apply for the PhD, there is a requirement that you have a master's degree to some degree. And so it would be difficult for you to justify why you want to go for a PhD if you do not have a master's. Now, if you already have a master's and you're thinking about applying for a second master's or a PhD, that is a different ballgame altogether. But personally, I would think that if you apply for both, it cancels out your application because it's kind of, because even on the website it says that double application leads to invalid application. So I would assume that submitting for masters and PhD would cancel each other out because it would be seen on their system as a double application. I don't know if any scholar has any personal insight into that. Maybe you know someone that has tried it and was successful or unsuccessful.
Well, not really a personal issue, but I'm not sure of the way the system works because I never tried applying for two at a time. But I think you have to use one. You only have one registration details, your email, and and then you can access only one application per time. That's what I think. But I never tried combining two applications. And then maybe you might want to ask the person why Ferguson why he wants to apply for two or two masters and PhD, and maybe he can get we can advise him on what to do or what to do instead if it's not possible to apply for the two at once.
So just to add to that, so truly, like you said, I don't know. Also, haven't tried that. I know I've tried doing two applications for PhD, but not PhD and the masters. But notwithstanding, I think what you should do is what they call website of Commonwealth. You should go and read it. Or better still, if you're not sure, you can email them. They answer your query. Just send an email. Can I apply? Because I will not want to give any information of what I'm not sure of. So advise, like she said, read the site or send an email to verify.
Just to just to add to this, Commonwealth website also have their frequently asked questions.
Yeah.
So then there is no. This is just like wanting to gamble. Like Chisholm said, the person that asked the question may need to tell us why he or she wants to apply for both this and that. It's just like he wants to gamble the application. So I don't think that would be why. And to better get it right, the website of Commonwealth Scholarship should have frequent, frequently asked questions. This may be there, but we can't give you a straight answer to yes or no to this question until maybe we know why you want to do that, and you have listed the frequently asked questions on the website to find out what is done. Sorry for the background noise.
Yeah, I also wanted to add to say, if you're applying for a scholarship, you also should know like what is it that you want to achieve by the end of it all. So like applying for masters and applying for PhD, both of them demand different things from you for you to achieve both of the scholarships. So for someone who is considering applying for both masters and Commonwealth, So firstly, for masters, you just want like a bachelor's degree, but for PhD you need to have like a master's. We see it like Butch said, and at the same time you also have to be looking for like the ones who are going to be supervising your PhD. So it's a lot of work for you to put into both of these applications. So for you to have like having two applications to one funder and you don't know how their systems work, I think it's a matter of, as everyone has said, going back to the website to say if it's applicable. But if it cancels each other, then there's no point in you for you to apply for both of them. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Just before we move to the next question, let me also add that it is possible to apply for Commonwealth Masters and also apply for Commonwealth Shared, because they are both for master's programs and their application windows are separate. So the current application is the Commonwealth Masters. That's the one that's open. Commonwealth Shared is not yet open for application. But if you applied for Commonwealth Masters, you can also apply for Commonwealth Shared because the nominating agencies are different. And I think the application window is separated because it's allowed to apply for the both. So for the Masters and PhD, the indication that the application window is together should kind of indicate that they don't expect you to apply for both of them. But like everyone has said, it's better you either email Commonwealth or check their frequently asked questions. We are not part of the people that are selecting scholars, so we don't exactly know the full process in the background. We can only provide answers on what we did to succeed in our own applications. So I think we'll move to the next question. For the Nigerians who got the agency nominating Commonwealth Scholarship, how were you able to present an admission letter to the Federal Scholarship Board? I know it's a mandatory condition. Okay. I myself, I did not apply through FSB, but I know a few people that did. And as a Nigerian, I will say this, the FSB requirements are not always the same year on year. So each application cycle, there might be an adjustment in their criteria for application. Same with Commonwealth itself. Sometimes they add 1 or 2 or 3 different requirements year on year, which is why you always have to go through the process. But the person I know that went through FSB, as at the time when FSB application was going on, he did not need to submit an admission letter. He needed to submit proof of application for admission, but not an unconditional offer or even a conditional offer. You didn't need to have an offer to be considered by FSB. But it also depends on the timeline. For this cycle, I do not know FSB's timeline, but I have heard from a few people that the admission letter is now mandatory. However, admission into the UK universities for 2024-2025 session is actually just opening up for some universities. And for some universities, they haven't even started taking admission because the Commonwealth Scholarship you're applying for is 2024/2025. So it might be difficult for anyone to present an admission letter at this point, except someone who has a deferred offer. So it might be while reaching out to the Federal Scholarship Board to let them know that this is the situation on ground, and whether this admission letter criteria can be relaxed, or if their own timeline for their own application, because FSB has their own timeline for application, which does not necessarily go together with the Commonwealth. So if the application window, let's say, is around February, March, April next year, by that time you should be able to get an admission letter. But if it is within this October, November, it might not be possible. So the best option is always to contact FSB and try to figure out what they are requiring and exactly what it is. So I think that's sufficient for that question. We'll move to the next one. How can I get the link to the application? Okay, I think I've dropped that in the chat. So I think we move to the next one. Are we going to have access to the recordings? Yes, you will. The recordings will be available on this YouTube page even after we finish. The same way previous recordings are also available. Next question. On detailed plan of study, how do I write it properly in a sense that it covers all 3 options that I have indicated? Okay, so the detailed plan of study, that's talk about the 3 schools that your 3 options for universities and courses. So does anyone want to talk about this?
I can talk about this one. So when you're
Okay.
writing the detailed plan of study, um, the whole purpose anyway of the scholarship application is to show the people who are reviewing your essays and your entire application that you have a vision and is coherent and applicable. So it's advisable for you to pick options that are similar to each other so that even as you are explaining one, because mostly if the course is the same but at different schools, even the modules will be the same. So if it's that way, then it will be easy for you because remember, you have a limited word count. But then say if you're applying for courses that are different, it might be more difficult for you to actually make the detailed plan of study coherent because they all talk about different aspects. So my advice would be for you to pick courses that are similar and in the same field so that as you're talking about them, your explanation will cover all three of them at once and it prevents you from really going into detail about each specific course. In that way, if you have three courses that are similar, you talk about your first option in a lot of detail, and then maybe you can just add some additional things about the other two. But because they are similar, whatever information you give on any particular course covers the others. I hope that helps.
Okay, thank you, Mabel. So I think that's that for that question. So just try to pick similar courses and then you can coherently write about all of them together. Next question. How do I get nominated by a nominating body, or which nominating body do I go through as man? Okay, so Ejike Oji, I'm assuming you're Nigerian, but let me talk generally. So when you're applying for the Commonwealth scholarship, there are three options for nominating agency. Number one is the government of your country. So there will be an institution in your country that nominates on behalf of the country. The second option is if you are a lecturer in an eligible university in your country. So your university can nominate you. So your university where you work as a lecturer can become your nominating agency. And the third one is the non-governmental organizations that also nominate. So there are a list of them on the Commonwealth website, so you can look into which ones you qualify for. Each non-governmental organization has a criteria, and then if you meet the criteria, then you can apply to them to nominate you. So you have the three options, depending on which one you're most eligible for, then you can apply for that. I think that's that for that question.
Yeah,
Should I make an
Richie, sorry to add to it, you said as a man, so let me just make a point here. AGK, if when you are when you're searching for the agencies, for example, you want to use the NGOs, please do well to visit each of the websites of the NGOs to see the eligibility criteria. So don't just go and anyone. When you have seen them, then you can begin to make contact with them. Then, and when you must have submitted the application, make contact with them and know what next to do. But please visit their website and read the eligibility criteria before you start. I hope that helps. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next question. Should I make an application to the Commonwealth for each school of my choice, or should I just make one application for all my schools of my choice?
So, Buchi, I think I can take this one. So, is it President Oath? You have to make the difference between the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship and the Commonwealth Master Scholarship. In the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship, the nominating bodies are your schools. In the Commonwealth Masters, the nominating bodies are all the NGOs and the ministries of higher education, depending on where you are. For this one that you are applying, the deadline on the 17th of October, the nominating body or the nominating agencies are the NGOs and all of that. You can have as many applications per nominating body as you can, but not per school. So for each nominating agency, you can have a separate application, of course, if you're eligible for that nominating agency. And then if you have had the chance to go through the form, you realize that they ask you to put your first, your second, and your third choice. In the Commonwealth Shed, you're not asked to put your first, second, and third choice. You have to apply per school. And that one has not been launched yet. So right now you're applying per nominating agency. I think that should answer your question.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Larissa. That's very, very clear. So the shared, you apply per school. For the masters, you apply per nominating agency. So that's the way it's uh, differentiated. So the next question, for the Nigerians who got the agency nominating Commonwealth Master Scholarship, how were you able to present an admission letter to FSB,
I
the
think
autumn
this has
admission
been
scheme?
answered, but
Yeah,
probably
I think we've answered this. So let's move to the next one. I discontinued my application because I saw a BC where the Nigerian nominating organization said one must have secured admission into at least 2 UK universities before applying. I need help on this. I think this is similar to the last question.
Um, this issue of admission keeps coming up, but then when you apply for Commonwealth and you have a prospective university, sorry, my camera was off, and you have a prospective university on mind, just put the university. But for a PhD, you must have a, depending on your university, but on a general note, you should have a supervisor, okay, who should provide you with a supporting document. But then, um, you should have your university which you intend to go to, if it's master's, for example, you should include in your application. Then Commonwealth will even tell you when you must have been nominated and notified. They will tell you if at this time you've not obtained admission, do well to obtain admission. So not getting admission should not be a disqualifying criteria to you. Go ahead and make your application and put the university you want. If for masters, then for PhD, make sure you have your supervisor, you really have someone who to supervise your project. Thank you.
Thank you. I think let me just add this to say as well. As Larissa has said when I asked in the previous question, you can make as many applications per nominating agency. So if you're nominating if you're using the Ministry of Education, Nigeria Federal Scholarship Board as your nominating agency, and they are saying you must have an admission, and then you're having issues around that, then you can also check other nominated agencies that you are eligible to that may not have that requirement, and you can submit applications for all of these. At the end of the day, if one does not work out and the other one works out, you have the option to choose. But the point still remains, like I said before, try to reach out to whoever is giving the criteria for admission by this time. That is not a feasible thing. And because usually people are scared of asking questions. Is this possible? Is not possible? Like just someone said he discontinued his application. That's not the right course of action. The right course of action is to ask the nominating agency, why do you need this criteria at this time? Not possible to have it. And then see their response. But don't discontinue your application because of that. Submit your application. The worst you can do is not get it. But if you don't submit, the best you can do is not get it.
I wanted to add on that one that I had also a colleague who applied last year and got the Commonwealth scholarship for masters. And one of the requirement was to submit the school, the application to the school that they got the school place. But what she did was to contact the university and tell them that the nominating agency I'm applying for want me to present that I have an admission with your school. So what they did was they just wrote a letter to confirm with them to say, okay, we have assessed this student, she is eligible for our application. If she applies, she can get a place. But at this point, we are not yet open for for admission for the year that she's applying for. So they just supplied a letter to her, which she used in the application process. So those are some of the initiatives that we can take to contact the universities that we want, and then the universities will supply us such kind of a letter, as long as we also tell them that we show them that we are eligible. If we make that application later on in the process, we are assured of getting that admission later on. So that's another thing also we can pray around these things, is to contact the university, also contact the nominating agency, as some people have already said.
Thank you very much, Chimamwe. I think we emphasized last time that people should not just give up without trying. So Those are some of the ways. And always to write emails, ask questions, send emails. I mean, nobody pay, you don't pay to send an email. So you can always send an email and ask people, what is it, what's happening, what can I do, how can I go about this?
Sorry to interrupt you. I want to be sure that people on LinkedIn we can see their chat, because I can look at the LinkedIn, I can see a lot of questions, but I don't know
Yeah,
if
I can
Yes,
see
we
some
can see
LinkedIn
them.
comments. Yeah.
Yeah, we can see the questions. We've answered one already.
on LinkedIn.
We're
Great, thank
following
you.
up.
I
Yeah.
just wanted, okay, thank you. All right.
Okay. So I think we move to this next question that's asking whether it's too late to start applying. Well, for me, that the answer would be it depends on you.
Yeah, it depends on the individual.
It really depends on you. If you feel it's too late, but it's never too late.
No, I think why the person is asking the question, which is the question may be coming from different angles, in the sense that it could be that the individual may be a PhD student whom is yet to secure, have a supervisor to provide supporting document for masters. Person may be seeing that he or she is not able to quickly get admission or be sure of the university to go. But for me, I would say it's not too late. You can just start your application and have your prospective university of mind, put them in your application, then work towards getting the admission in the university. And just like the previous scholar said, if you're having difficulties and your nominating agency requires an admission letter, you can begin to write emails to the school and try to see if they can give you a cover note to give your nominating agency. So I can say maybe it's not so late.
Just to add to what Lillian has said, sorry, Bushi, I
Yeah, go
also
ahead.
think that the whole application process is a learning process. So, like Bushi said, it's up to you. If you feel it's too late and that maybe you don't have the requirements, just start drafting your essays. If you can't, submit what you have. Trust me, you're going to learn something through the application process. And maybe even if it doesn't work out this time, at least next time you'll be better armed. Like we're talking about securing letters of admission. That's something you would have done maybe this year, and then you give you an upper hand for next side for the next application cycle. So just do it if you want to. Actually, there's nothing you lose in the process.
Can I just
Yes.
add?
Yes.
Sorry. So I remember during my MSc, that was 2019, when I applied for, I was actually applying for Chevening, but due to network, I could not submit it, so I missed the deadline. So I had to just use the application for Commonwealth, and I got it. So you lose nothing, you learn, like she said. Okay.
At
Yeah.
the same time, 3 weeks is might be a lot of time for someone, might be shorter for this other person. It just depends on how this person is going to use the time that they have. So even if you're applying for a PhD, if you already have, like, for example, um, your what is it, your study, or what is it that you want to
Your
research on,
proposal.
your proposal, yes, and you contact someone who is going to, who might supervise you, and they take on that one before even find a place in that university. But if they are willing to say, okay, I can give you a recommendation that we can get you on board, then you're good to go. The only thing that you should be worried then, if you think like, okay, maybe I cannot write good essays that will defend myself for me to warrant myself to get this scholarship. But all in all, you can also write the essays as long as you put your effort into it, considering you don't have much time left. So it's about the person balancing their own time, at the same time looking at, okay, if I start contacting the universities, are the universities going to be answering me on time? Because at this time they are also busy with the incoming students, so you might not get uh, the the required differences or anything else from them on time if you had done that already way back. So yeah, it all depends.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Thank you. Next question. I think this one has also been answered by what we've been saying. So I think we'll
And
skip
even
it.
in the previous video, Buchi
Yeah.
emphasized a lot. If you didn't watch the previous video, please go to this YouTube channel and just click on the links, and then you'll be able to get the answers to most of these questions.
Can I use different emails to apply for the scholarship with multiple nominating agencies?
Well, I did apply to multiple nominating agencies, but I used the same email. I know that Ejiro also did application to multiple, but I don't know her take on that.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I want to say that using different emails to apply for to make the same application looks sketchy to me.
No, to
It,
you, to me, it's not. I disagree.
I don't
No,
know. I don't
no,
know.
no, no, no. I use different emails actually. So it's sketchy now.
I think it's not sketch. It's not sketchy. By the end of the day, the name is going to be the same
Same
person.
thing.
So even
Yeah,
if you use a different email, but
yeah,
your names are going to be the
Yeah.
same. So
yeah,
Yeah, I just want to bring the fact that each submission that you give has a specific ID number, which is
mm,
different.
mm,
So that is one thing I noticed. So my ID number for each nominating agency was different. And
yeah,
that's how I differentiated them even when the results were coming back. So, but I used the same email address for everything. So I,
yeah. Same,
yeah,
same with my mentees. I use the same email address and they got it. So yeah.
yeah.
yeah. The
Yeah.
same with me. I use the same email address
We
because
are
I am
many,
like.
we made many. We are
So
serious.
You
I
know, when I was talking about being sketchy, what I actually meant was
Oh, please.
you are submitting to the same nominated agency, but you are submitting two different applications with different
Hey, help us so we know what it was sketchy. It's not someone can have different meanings. So,
that's what I meant.
Trying out, trying out options, different nominating agencies to know which one works for you. I didn't use more than one. So just one email, one nominating agency, and just one of it.
mm,
But people have tried it and it worked for them. Then
Yeah. Okay. So I think we'll take this next question. I'm happy to hear that there are scholars at the University of Leeds on the panel. Okay. Hi.
hi, I'm here.
I would like to study a master's in environment and development at the university. I would love to know if you have any tips on preparing an application to the University of Leeds, particularly on language requirements. Secondly, it's ideal to approach my essays with more than one SDG of focus. Let me try to answer this question. First of all, your question seems specific, so it might be easier to get an answer one-on-one.
yeah, and cool.
Yeah, because I don't want to start talking about University of Leeds on this call when there are a lot of different scholars here. So you can send me a message on LinkedIn. I'll try to reply. But for the second part of the question about the SDGs, during the application, they ask you to provide 3 SDGs that are linked to your application. So yes, you have to have 3. Number 1, number 2, number 3. So you have to have the SDG 1, the first SDG that is linked, the most relevant one. It mustn't be in numerical order. So you can start, the first SDG might be SDG 17, then the second SDG might be SDG 2, then third SDG might be SDG 5. And you have to link your application to these SDGs. So you have to have them, and it's good if you mention them in your essays as well. Does anyone want to add to that?
Yes, if I can come in for the person that asked about the SDGs. So even if you are focusing on particular SDGs, it's also good that for each of the SDGs that you pick, you go to their targets. Each SDG has a target. So check within each of the SDGs, which of the targets focuses specifically on what your research proposal or your research focus is focused on. For instance, I used SDG 3, which is good health and well-being, as my primary target. That is the first SDG. But I took it a step further and I went to check which target within SDG 3 focused on my area of research, which is tobacco control. And that was, I think, 3.C, if I'm still accurate. So just try and be a bit specific. After you've listed your 3 SDGs within the framework of your essay or whatever you are writing, your development impact, if you are making reference, try to show them that you don't.
Hello?
Did you, huh?
I think that's a technical issue, but I think the point has been made. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
even in the last recording we did talk about the targets, so they are also very, very important to look at.
but you can I say something on the language requirements? Um, I suppose the person is asking about the English language requirement, and I don't know for most UK university or for what may I did. I know that I have been taught English language, so I just got a letter from the registrar of my university, letter for English proficiency. So if the question actually is on English requirement, English language requirement, I don't know, University of Leeds, must you provide your TOEFL or IELTS, or can one get um, letter for English proficiency from the registrar of
Yeah,
their university?
yeah. Let me just answer plainly. I didn't write an English test to get into University of Leeds.
That they
Me
already
too.
identified.
That's simple. Yeah.
So it's not about University of Leeds. So the person that asked the question, LinkedIn user, I think you should just go to your university where you studied and get letter of English proficiency from your registrar. It's a common thing that is given. You've
Yeah.
been taught in language since you've been, except you're talking another language, I don't know. But I assume you've been taught language.
Yeah. If you've been taught in English, you can just use that, leverage on that. Yeah. So I think we move to the next question.
Yeah. Okay. So if you permit me, okay, fine. After this question is fine. No worries. No worries.
Okay. So can I apply to multiple nominated? I think we've answered this one as well.
I
Mhm.
know.
Yeah, we've answered this one as well. So, Ejiro, you wanted to say something before we
Yeah,
move to
yeah.
the next
So
one?
I observed that there are some people that ask questions on my own comment page, so that's why I cannot reflect on the YouTube page. So there are a couple.
Ah,
Yeah. So I'll just in between. I'll just read some of them. Yeah.
oh,
So
okay.
yeah, there's one that's here. Good evening all. I'm William from Nigeria. Should reference letter be specifically addressed to the school we are applying to, or the traditional to whom it may be concerned? I'll repeat it. Should the reference letter be specifically addressed to the schools we are applying to, or should it be to whom it may be concerned?
Oh, oh, oh. Okay, writing the reference.
Mm.
Is
Yeah.
it the reference to
Oh,
the common qualification of admission to university?
Yeah, so I'm guessing the person did not specify, so we can answer for both scholarship and both admission. Yeah.
Oh,
okay. So I know that for the scholarship, you can just address your reference letter to whom it may concern, or to the nominating chair of or the chair of the Commonwealth Commission. It's yeah, it's really that simple. Just I know mine. It was the nominating chair, Commonwealth Scholarship Commission. That was it. That was how I addressed the reference for the scholarship. For the university, it's the same thing. The the chairman of admissions, University of Leeds, and I just
Yeah.
sent it that way. Some universities have specific requirements of how to address reference letters, so you need to check your school specifically.
I would have
But
not
Well,
seen that. You
in
can
yeah,
my
check
own
the school.
opinion, I would think that the person should address it directly to whoever you are sending it to. If it's for the Commonwealth um nominating agency, address it to the nominating agency. If it's to the school, address it to the admission office or the selection committee. Because if you are bringing just a general reference letter to whom it may concern, I think it waters down the value of the reference letter. Like, if you don't have enough time to research on where you are sending it to get the correct address to send it, and you are just putting to whom it may concern, I don't think it sees something positive, not negative, but it will your reference letter will be worth more if you can address it directly to whom you are to the office you are sending it to. I know some supervisors they give people to whom it may concern reference letter which you can use for any application or not, but specifically request send the address to them. If possible, do a format and send to them. It will boost your application. From my own point of view,
Yeah.
just try to do that extra effort. It will pay you at the end.
If you
So
don't
my,
mind, sorry.
sorry,
Should I?
Chima, I agree. I would not advise you to use to whom it's concerned, please.
Okay, so I have a different opinion. It's always good to strike a balance. If for any reason you cannot get a specific address letter, please, if it's, what you have is to whom may be concerned, use it. It's better to submit than not submitting at all. Because let's be honest, at times some people don't give you, they don't have the time, or they bring it late. So you wouldn't say because you don't have a reference letter addressed to the specific person, then you will not apply, especially when there's a deadline. So if you can get it, please. But if you can't, just submit it. One mistake because I've used to whom may be concerned. I also got what I wanted. But it's so these things varies, like I said. But always put your best foot forward.
But at the same time, you don't have to have like the specific addressee of the person. For example, you're sending it to Commonwealth, just saying to the Commonwealth Secretariat, you're done. Or you're sending it to Leeds or admissions team, Leeds University, you're done. Or you're sending it to FSB, FSB HR or FSB what. Just mentioning them in just simple line like that, not necessarily just being over the top. but just addressing them, it makes a lot of sense, like the way the other person was saying, just like that.
But like
Yeah,
Ejiro said, if you don't have anything at all
Yeah.
to fall back
Mm.
on, you can
So people will
put
not feel
in
scared.
your
Let's always tell them in case. Yeah.
yeah.
yeah. If you can't get the best and you have something to
Yeah.
present, always use it.
Mm.
Don't
Always
disqualify your
don't give
you've
Yeah.
up.
not been
Mm.
disqualified. The reference letter might not even be the thing that's going to make or
Yeah.
mar your application. You might have some clients in
Mm.
some other places and they just need it to fill the application slot for you.
Just to
Yeah.
So,
add, sorry, just to add
so
this, I don't know
yeah,
if the process has changed now, but during my time, even after I got the scholarship, they asked me to now send another reference letter at
Reference
the
letter
onset.
Mm.
So
yeah,
yeah,
please,
they did that to me too.
yes. So if you have the direct one, amazing. If you don't have, please use what you have. Just submit. Do not
Mm.
disqualify yourself before they disqualify you. Just
Yeah.
submit. Yeah.
yeah. So I think we move to this next question, but I think this question has also been answered. I think we've differentiated that this is Commonwealth Masters and Commonwealth PhD, and shared is still coming in the future. Next question. Suppose one wants to apply for master's scholarship and shared scholarship. Is it okay to replicate the essays if you're applying for same programs in both scholarships? Well,
Well,
the
I think
answer,
that's
the answer is yes and no.
no.
And let me try to explain why I said yes and no. Something like your personal statement can be replicated because it is your personal statement. It's talking directly about you. But you also need to understand the differences between the two applications. When you're applying for Commonwealth Masters, especially when you go to something like the detailed plan of study, you're talking about 3 different options of universities and courses that you want to apply for.
Mm.
When you come to Commonwealth Shared, there are no options. You are only talking about this university and this course for each application that you are making. So your essay cannot be containing 3 options in the shared category. So you need to be careful that you're not doing copy and paste. So I would advise go through the requirements, go through the essay. It doesn't mean you have to write a totally new essay, but try to make sure that whatever you are submitting is in line with what you're applying for.
And there's one thing with time. With time, a lot of things can happen. So I want to believe that between the Commonwealth scholarship now and the shared one is open, you might have done something different. Maybe volunteered or maybe got a course or something. So you have to edit to add those recent achievements. So
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, some people may have pending publication now, and then by next
Yeah.
application they've published.
Hallelujah.
Mm-hmm.
Can I
It's
submit
very
more than the
yeah.
application different
Things should
nominating?
sorry.
Okay, sorry, you wanted to say something.
Yeah, I said just to add to what you said, yes, it's very important that the person, even if the idea behind the essays and the school is the same, they can rephrase because self-plagiarism is still a thing and it can be, should be careful. Even if you are using the same idea behind what you are writing, just try and rephrase it. The same idea, but just try and rephrase so that it doesn't seem as if you are plagiarizing your own self. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, the concept of self-plagiarism.
Forgive me, just to go back to charity, just for the purpose of those that don't know what they call plagiarism, can you please help us explain it? Thank you.
Okay, so when we say plagiarism, we're talking about using an idea from someone and then not acknowledging that the idea is not yours but from someone else. So in this case, you are using your own idea, but you're not acknowledging that you are the actual source. So that's why I said try and rephrase, irrespective of the fact that the original idea behind the application is yours. But just try and rephrase it using, like he said, you word for word. It won't be good. It won't tell well. After all, the Commonwealth scholarship are for people who they believe should have integrity and are potential leaders in their field. So you shouldn't be caught self-plagiarizing. Yeah. Hope that was clear.
Yeah, yeah. So I think that's basically it. Just self-plagiarism, try to avoid it by all means. If you're planning to come to study in the UK, something you are going to meet. So it's better you start on time to start getting out of it. So even if it's you that wrote it the first time, if you submit it again the second time, they consider it that you're plagiarizing yourself because you've submitted it before. So it's something that you have to begin to understand that as time goes on, like Ejiro said, they expect that you have something else has happened. So you can't be saying the same story last year, saying the same story this year again. So next question, can I submit more than one PhD application to different nominating agents? PhD scholars, over to you.
The answer is a big, big yes, 100%
Yes,
yes.
if
You
you
did
have
it.
said
You
it.
succeeded. Please join the train.
Amen.
Yeah,
Okay,
let's,
I think this is the comment. This is the question Ejiro read out before. Ejiro, this is the question you read out before, right?
yeah, I'm glad we can see it, so that's fine.
Okay,
Our LinkedIn users, we can see you, so it's fine, no worries.
okay. Can one apply for PhD that is not related to the master's degree? I think we've touched on this in the previous sessions, but I don't know if anyone wants to say something briefly about this. PhD scholars.
It depends on how different your MS is different from the PhD you tend to apply for. For my own PhD, I'm doing something different, but I had to do almost 2 years coursework at the beginning of my PhD, so that's more like covered up for the fundamentals I would have missed. And then I don't think, this is my own opinion, I don't think Commonwealth they have issue with you applying for something different from your MSc. However, by the time you have written a proposal for your PhD, you've gotten a supervisor, and it shows that you're on track and more like you have been pre-approved since you have been able to get a good proposal, secure a supervisor. And if that's what you want to do, and then if you can justify it, then why not? Instead of not applying at all,
Yeah,
why not go for what you have available? The main task is getting someone that knows your background and your proposal and is still willing to supervise you by putting themselves at stake. So I think it's something doable.
Sorry,
Yeah.
which before this question, just a quick one. You know what is good to sorry, Sandra. It's good to have a track record of whatever you're doing. What you may even worry about is not even the Commonwealth application. Okay? What you should worry about is with teaching deviating, will you get someone that is happy that is just stumbling onto a new dimension? Okay, your track record matters a lot because some persons they want to ask, say, what have you done so far since your undergraduate? If you have been in the same line, there's no bad thing in diversity, but it's good to have a track record that is saying the similar thing. They want to continue, you want to do this, you want to do that, on the same track record. So the worry should be about your survival, getting a supervisor that will be comfortable you deviating from what you've been doing. So that should be your worry.
yeah,
Thank you.
and just to add to that, there are people that actually change careers. So even if what they studied was different in their course, they have work experience to show where they want to go into. So there are many reasons too. But I've actually seen people that actually what they studied in their bachelor's master is not what they're doing for PhD, and they're doing fine. So, like she said, just get someone that can supervise you. And, yeah.
Yeah, I also wanted to add on that one to say the work experience will talk for you or whatever it is that you have done in between your master's and your PhD, because that will also answer the question of say what is it that you've done in the past that you are willing to go through with this PhD. So I will also talk as for example myself, I had a totally different bachelor's degree, which was really different one, but my experience is the one that got me the masters that I'm doing currently, because they are all totally different, but the experience is the one that I use to get the admission for the schools and also to get the scholarship. So look at yourself and also see what is it that is making you to be interested in the other angle or research interest of where you're going to. Yeah.
Okay. Next question, because I think we're almost 1 hour in.
Yeah.
I currently have a PhD admission, including approval from 2 supervisors. However, the project is on UK migrant. Is it likely going to be accepted by FSB and Commonwealth? Well,
Can I come in?
okay, yeah.
Okay. For when the person is saying UK migrants, I'm assuming migrants from his or I think Victor from Victor's country of origin, right? But just that they are residents in the UK. So if I'm right with that assumption, then it could still be possible, yes, because though they are migrants, but they are originally from your country of origin. But it would really be good if the study you are doing is also beneficial to people in your country of origin as well, not just those who are within the UK. So, for instance, even if you are doing the study and you are working with people from your country of origin who are residents in the UK, but it is still beneficial to those who are residents in your country of origin, I think it's still okay. It's not a bad one.
Uh, and just to add, we know we have Commonwealth scholarship for low income country, and we also have for high income country. So let's be specific that what we are doing now is for low to developing income countries. That's what we are doing, right? Just to
Yeah.
confirm.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes.
I think whatever project you are doing should impact your, if not your country, at least the low income or developing country.
Okay.
Because that's, I think that is why they have development statements.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to show that you're contributing back home.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If you can prove that, then I know someone here that is also doing a research, a postdoc researcher on African migrants. So I think it's an area worth exploring.
Okay. Okay. So next question. Okay, this particular question is talking about admission deposit being the only condition for your admission. For a fact, Commonwealth accepts this as an unconditional offer. If the only condition for your admission offer is to pay a deposit, Commonwealth will take that as an unconditional offer because it's assumed that they will pay the deposit. So I don't know if anyone has any contrary opinion, but from what I know, once the condition is financial, then Commonwealth assumes it's an unconditional offer.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
Buchi,
So,
not the contrary, yeah, not the contrary opinion, but just to support your point in the sense that I would also encourage this person to write to their school and tell the school that that they're applying for a scholarship. They may not have the money to pay now, and the school is going to understand. So they will not, because normally usually these deposits have a deadline, and I'm not certain if by the deadline you may have
Heard
received
from Commonwealth.
you may have received feedback from the Commonwealth. So if the deadline is close and you're not sure to receive feedback from Commonwealth by then, you can write to them and tell them that you're expecting feedback from the Commonwealth and that you're not able to sustain this, so you're expecting them to be able to fund your studies, and they will forward or push your deadline forward. But like you mentioned, it's a very valid admission. Submit it for the Commonwealth Masters.
Um, Thank you. Just to interrupt you, Buchi. I would really appreciate if we can read out the questions because we have people with special needs. So they might not be able to see. So just try to read it out. If you can do that for us, please.
Okay, okay, yeah. So, do we move to the next question?
Should we just read this so that people know?
Okay, okay, let me just read this one out.
Yes.
Please, I want to ask if I can submit a conditional admission offer to Commonwealth. The condition of the admission is that they expect me to pay a deposit of £1,000 before it can be upgraded to unconditional. Please, what is your take? So that's the question that we just answered. Now, moving on to the next question. Can the applicant use the same information as the last application, citing late response for the offer in the last selection?
We answered this question in the last chat.
I really don't understand the
This
question.
is a different question. Yes, it's almost like the self-majority, but I don't think that's what Tamara is asking.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
think that
really
they
don't
want
understand the
I
question.
think they want to reference them. I don't understand. I don't know if they want to reference themselves as
It
the
was
authors of what they were writing. I don't know if you have to
last
give an explanation to why you're using the same information. I'm not sure.
Maybe
Um,
for me, maybe I'm getting it as, yeah, she used the last application.
the same
Maybe she's
application.
not, yes. So like the same essays, for example, that she submitted in maybe last year, she did not get it, or she did not finish the application, but she has the essays or something like that. But what I would say is, as someone said, that this is a learning process. So, for example, if you applied in last year and then you're applying again this year, a year is a long time for you to like find something else, have done another work or any other information. Please add that, and also look at the essays that you have and see where you need improvement, because by the time you are submitting the applications right now, I think you might look at them with fresh eyes to say, okay, what was I writing last year? I have read more now. I need to rephrase here. I need to add a bit more information here. So if you applied like previously and you want to apply again this time around, it's just a matter of you going back to the essays and look at them. I don't think for the whole year your essays will not give you like something to say, what is it that I was writing here? I think I need to change here. I need to add here. I need to add information here. So you can use the same information, but as the other person has said, rephrase, paraphrase, include more information, also research some of the new things that are happening in your area, add them in, because some things might have changed from the last time you applied. Yeah.
Sorry.
Just to,
Okay, forgive me, please.
just to add,
Can I
just
come in?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah, you
Okay.
don't need to raise your hand. Go ahead.
Why is the class?
No,
Excuse me,
I don't want to interrupt her when she was speaking because she's making a very valid point. But I have another observation from Tamara's question.
Yeah.
If I'm right, I'm assuming Tamara made an application. Tamara got the scholarship, but she did not respond on time, and then she lost the scholarship. So if
Oh,
that is the case, Tamara, do what the previous speaker has said, update it and resubmit, rephrase, update and resubmit. All right. I hope
Mhm.
you get it again.
so
okay, okay. I think your view makes more sense of the question.
Yeah.
Buchi,
Yeah.
I wanted to add something because I made the same observation like Charity. And but what I also want to tell Tamara is that you are not competing against the same people you were competing last year. That's something that you
Mm.
should also have in mind. So the fact that you got an offer, because this is a competitive scholarship, the fact that you got an offer last year with those scholarships and that you responded late does not mean that if you submit the same thing now, people will write better essays than you can ever imagine. So there are other people who are going to step up this time around. So you have to step up your game too. It's not the same time like last time. And then we answered this question also in the previous chat when we said it also shows that you have done something in the last year. It also shows that you have made progress in your life. Like you just can't submit the same thing you had submitted last time. They themselves, even if the people you're competing against are not as good as what the people you're competing with last year, they'll be like, but what has happened? What has changed? So if this person doesn't make progress in a year, she's probably not up to it. Your best bet is to update your essays.
So
Okay,
can I
thank you.
can I please?
Okay.
Laura, I must say that I'm sorry that for your late response. But to be honest, for the applicant here, please always check your emails when you're expecting something, okay? Because I assume that Tamara didn't check up her emails and she didn't know she got selected. If that is what
Spam folder is very important.
check your
Happened to me.
event application, they cannot come to your door and knock at your door. Is the email you provided they should keep checking and not, this is not a good news for me, honestly. So please don't miss the opportunity by not maybe you didn't check email or something. Sorry about that. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I add, ma'am, now? So now I'm permit me to deviate still on Tamara's question. So in communication, we have what they call the 7 C's: clear, concise, concrete, correct, coherent, complete. So then when you see how we are just bringing out different perspective in your question because it was not complete. We are not almost sure the story. So that applies to your application. When you are writing your story, please. I am not sure the reviewers will have time to be thinking, does she mean this? Does he mean that? Does it mean this? I'm not sure they have that time. So if you're writing your essay, please make it complete, make it clear, make it comprehensive. Nobody has time to do what we're doing for you right now. I doubt it. So please, this is just an observation, because a lot of people write good essays, but they're not complete. So they're not really sure where they're coming from, what they're going to. The reviewers don't have you on their mind. They have a lot of papers to review. So please make it complete. This is one thing I faced with my supervisor. It tells me, hey, Joe, we are not in your head. Write it out. Let us understand.
Oh my God. So you're not the only one.
Okay, I think we move to the next question. Okay, I think we've gone over the hour, so I will crave everyone's indulgence that we'll try to get through some of the questions. So, next question is, please, I want to ask if I can submit a conditional admission offer to Commonwealth Master Scholarship. I think this has been answered. Next question, please, what is the role of Nigeria Federal Scholarship Board in this scheme? After filling the application form on Commonwealth site, do I need to send a separate application to FSB? The answer is yes. I don't know if I'll go into much detail to explain the intricacies, because this was something we covered in the last recording. But the point is, the scholarship, after making the application on Commonwealth's website, you still need to apply to your nominating agency, whatever that nominating agency may be. Your application is not valid unless a nominating agency nominates you. If nobody nominates you, even if you write the best essays and submit the best application, there's nobody vouching for you to say, we want this person to be considered for the scholarship. So you must make an application to a nominating agency. And the criteria for every nominating agency differ. So you need to find out what your nominating agency needs you to do.
Okay, just to deviate, sorry, back to Tamara. So she said she was locked out of her email. That was why she couldn't get the yeah.
Oh,
So sorry. I also
Okay.
had the same experience 2 days ago. I got locked out of an email, and I got important information I didn't know. On this one told me about it. Like, did you see your email? Like, what email? So I'm so sorry. It's sad, but hopefully this one goes better. So back.
yeah.
I'm sorry. No more intermission. Up to you now.
Okay. Yeah.
Can I
Sorry
add,
about that.
the FSB?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. For the application, when you submit the CSE application online for the FSB, you should be watching out for when the interview dates come up, and it's something that you have to watch for. So if you have someone in Abuja, ask them to check FSB office notice board, their website. Just watch out for the interview, and then print the copies of your application as required by the FSB. They will send you a list of things that you should take to the interview. So yes, that interview, don't miss it for any reason. Don't miss it for any reason. You have to watch out.
Okay, so next question. When applying for a PhD program, I am required to submit a research proposal within 750 words. In this situation, do I need to include a reference list, or in-text citation is enough? PhD scholars.
I think this question was answered also in the last session.
The last time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to reemphasize, within the text for, because I realized all of us did different things. So what I did was, within the text, to cite using digit numbers like Vancouver, then come below and just include the short URL to the publication, and just the first name of the author and the initial and a tour. I don't know if you get it. Within the text, just use 1, 2, 3, 4. Then when you now combine it, put the link, first name, last, the author, the last name, then initial and a tour. That will save you so much space, because you have to copy everything, including the references, inside the box when submitting, and any information above 750 will not be included until you delete them. Others can share what they did too.
So what I did is, I just, because of I was very, very cautious of my word count, I rather use my word count to write what is very important. So I just put so I just used 2 references only. I just put the name of the book, name of the author, and that was it.
Yeah,
Because
maybe try to use a review or something that covers much of what you want to say. You don't have to list and list and list.
Okay, thank you. Next question. My question is there an interview that will be conducted regarding the scholarship? If yes, where will the interview take place for someone who is not in the country now? What can he or she do? So I know that the Commonwealth does not conduct interviews. The Commonwealth Scholarship Commission does not conduct interviews as part of their process, but your nominating agency might require an interview. I think I'm correct to say that. So it really depends on the nominating agency, and the nominating agency will give you details of however they want to do their selection, and that is what you have to follow. So in addition to whatever Commonwealth has put on their website and all the information we're giving you here, you still have to fall back to your nominating agency and find out what they need. Some nominating agencies just require you to get a PDF copy of what you submitted to Commonwealth and send to them by email, and that's all. But some may want to do interviews that have additional requirements. I know that even FSB for Nigerians, has the NYSC requirement. So Commonwealth does not ask you to do NYSC, but when you get to your scholarship board in Abuja, they will ask you, have you done NYSC and where's your discharge certificate? So you might also want to look into all those kind of things.
Does anybody want to answer that before I want to just say something else? Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, so sorry. Oh, please. Someone say
Larissa,
No, I just wanted to encourage people to read through the Commonwealth website several times, as many times as possible. The whole application process is written out clearly.
Okay. So sorry to just permit me. I'm going to show something on the screen now because I just got a question from the group chat where we also mentor. So I think people might also miss it here. So someone asks, what are the 7 C's of communication? Clear, concise, concrete, correct, coherent, complete, and conscious. So you can do more on Google search. I just want to put it out there. So thank you, Doris. I'm sorry. Back to you now.
No, you don't need to be sorry. It's okay. So our next question.
yeah, next question. Please, what if you have 2 courses which are not really similar? How can you write an essay? That is, are you to write maybe in 2 paragraphs for the different courses or what? Does anyone want to answer this question?
Before we say anything, I want to say that please, if you just came in today and you did not go through our previous session, here we are trying to rush over time and say many things that may not be. We took over 3 hours last time, so please take your time to go through the previous video. These questions have been answered in them, and the main thing we said is try to get courses as, even if they are not they don't have exactly the same name. Try to get courses that may be in the same field. Then it will be easier for you to talk about them separately. Of course, you can, if you don't have enough word count, you can focus on your first choice. But if you can talk about all the 3, it'll still be good. I think if anyone has.
I think, sorry, just to say this, I think one of us, our background noise is really affecting me. Please, can we check our surrounding, please? It could interfere with the webinar.
Okay. I think we'll move to the next question.
Yes, please give me a minute.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
How can I get to the nominated agency in Cameroon? I'm kind of confused. Does anyone have an answer to this?
Larissa is the master of Cameroon.
That's too much weight. So, Brini, what I can say is in Cameroon, you have the Ministry of Higher Education, that's a nominating agency for the master scholarship, and they already opened their application process. I think the deadline is in October. I'm not sure what date exactly. You might want to check them out on Twitter and follow them or things like that to get exactly the documents, because they have a set of requirements that you need to deposit. Another nominating agency is FAWE, that's for ladies. Then you also have the Hali Access Network, which nominates through Open Dreams in Cameroon. And all of these nominating agencies have like their requirements. So if you follow Open Dreams either on Facebook or Twitter, whatever it is, you can always drop a message what it requires or what it entails to be nominated by them. So those are the 3 that I know for now. If there is any other Cameroonian, whether listening or on the platform, you can always drop an answer to add to, or any other person who is not Cameroonian who knows of any other thing.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
not from Cameroon, but I want to say shout out to, I think there are some scholars joining us, but on the chat, so you can just be kind to drop answers to questions to help us. Thank you.
Yeah, I wanted to say that even though I'm not Cameroonian, but the starting point would be the Commonwealth website where they say
Exactly.
agencies. So
Yeah.
go there, read, and then you find agencies that are applicable in your country. Then you start off from there to go to their website and everything else. Contact them if you need to. If they just need a mention in the application process, then submit the application.
Thank you very much, Imomo. It boils down to one thing. Please read the website. In our last
Yeah.
webinar, we emphasized on reading that website at least 3 times before submitting. Try as
Mm-hmm.
much as possible to read the website. All the information you need is in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let me also add the emphasis on reading. Please, if you want to come and do a course in the UK, you will read and read. So better start reading now. Some people think that we are overflogging the horse. Please, you need to read and read and read. So if you can't read now, if you come here, you won't be able to survive it. So please try to form that reading culture from now.
Okay,
Yeah.
I like to also do some balancing. So if for any reason maybe you are so busy you cannot read, this is what they call text to speech. So there are some apps that can do audio reading for you. So there's no
Mm-hmm.
like excuse. That's my point. If you feel that your eyes are tired, you can also be listening to it. So it's also
Yeah.
part of them. Yeah, sorry, I just wanted to say that. So
No,
I
no,
think
that's a very wonderful idea. I,
fighting
I
for
actually
the
I actually do that sometimes.
I keep fighting for the odd situation. So sorry.
No, no, no.
Yeah,
I
I
actually
noticed
do that.
that.
That's
I,
but
I,
even
I think you're
it's
always
not.
looking for the easiest way out, basically.
Sorry.
No, it's good. Life doesn't have to be difficult.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
true. It's true, but we don't also want to encourage laziness.
Okay, next question, please. What is the place of nominating agencies? Does it mean if they don't nominate you for any reason that Commonwealth can choose not to grant you the scholarship? I think I've answered this particular one. No
It's not
nominating
even that.
agency, no scholarship.
Yeah, it's not even that they will choose not to grant you. It's that you will
They
not even
wouldn't look
get
at
to
your
them. They will
application if
not
there's
even
no
look at your
nominating agency.
application. So they don't choose. You will not even be looked at.
You guys are you are really not a so soft panelist. You are like you're just out there, give it to them. You're not like cool, like
Oh, it's good they hear it the way it is. Your application is not complete without a nominating agency. That is
Yeah.
just the summary of it. No
Mm-hmm.
nominating agency means you are submitting an incomplete application.
Yeah.
So just take note of that.
Just to quickly add on this one, usually people mistakenly think that nominating agencies might have just like some people that they would nominate, like, okay, we just nominate these people that we know of, and then the Commonwealth give them the scholarship. What we don't understand is they also have like a set of criteria of the people that are supposed to be nominated. So Commonwealth also give them, you need to give us people who meet these specific criteria for us to give them the scholarship. And when the nominating agencies nominate you, Commonwealth will also vet to say, have you nominated the people that we wanted as a scholarship body? So what nominating agencies are doing is Commonwealth does not want to read too many scholarship applications. So the nominating agencies do the job for them. That's it.
we are speechless.
Perfect. Just straight to the point. She gave it as it is.
She said exactly what it is. They just
Yes.
reduce the number of applications for the body. So
Yeah.
it's a kind of shortlisting process.
Yes.
The next question. Good day, panelists. Please, is it still possible to get a supervisor seeing that the deadline is very close? I sent a mail to a professor in the University of Manchester for supervision and no response yet. Is Lillian still here?
I
This is
okay.
it.
I can follow up, but I think I would like my senior scholars to first answer. Lilian and Charity, know that the PhD boss and some of they are upcoming PhD. So I can follow my school. Let them first take the floor.
Zero. Well, for the person that asked the question,
Okay.
I think was it. I don't think we discussed that the last time, but the best is not just issue one
Sorry, Chisom,
person.
your audio is a little bit.
Your background is noisy. Yeah.
My background.
Can you mute yourself? Mute yourself. Just mute yourself. Oh, it's not from you then.
It's from somewhere else.
Yeah. Can you mute yourself, please? It's from Charity. Something, please go on. It's fine.
Okay, what I was saying is that you don't just email one person, because the chances that a single person will answer you, that means it will take forever, and then you don't need to narrow your university to just one. Mail as many people that are doing what you intend to do. Mail so many people, different universities. Try and try and try. Don't just email one person, because you might not even get a chance. You can just decide to mail 20 people. Correctly email, not just random emails. Correct formatted code emailing. Just try to send maybe like 20. Now that the deadline is almost there, you can try 50 per day, 50 per day.
Yes, seriously, it's a job. It's a
Serious, you
job.
don't understand the
Seriously,
pressure.
yeah. Seriously.
Yeah, you have to spread your net. The person is already starting late. If it was before, I would have said just try 10 people per day, 10 people per day. But now the deadline is almost there, and you have to go forth and back with your research proposal, correction, and all those things before they can agree to supervise you. So don't just email one person. List out all the universities that have the departments where you can do your proposed research, and then look for all those people and start emailing them. Not one person or her. One person, you are just still starting. Well, likely you have not even started. Just try to spread your net as wide as possible, and hopefully in 2 weeks, the deadline is almost there. You can get someone. It's not late, but just put in the hard work. It might pay off.
So I have a different perspective. I would like my seniors to speak first. Charity or Lilian. I always give my own side.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the background noise. I've
No worries.
gotten an earpiece. And I hope it's better.
Way
Yeah.
better.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, it's very good now.
Oh,
I appreciate it.
okay. So for the person about a professor, okay. Like you rightly said, yes, there's need to hasten up. The deadline is close. So another point I would like to give is based on your research interest, try and deliberately target academicians who may not be professors, but are also senior lecturers and have also gone very high in the academic ladder. Why am I saying that? You need a quick response. Professors are very busy people. So you might get a quicker response and that you are needing if you try and balance it up. Don't just target professors. I did that in my own case. I made sure there was a balance. I wasn't just targeting professors that were in my field. I was also targeting other academicians that I knew would give me a bit of their time. So now that is very close, like she said, 20 per day. But don't just target professors just because they are professors. Target other people that are also good in your field and can be your supervisors. So that's
Yeah,
it for me.
another reason is because those professors, they're already established, but those young ones, they are trying to get established, look for students to supervise. They're trying to build their own records too, so they will be willing to take you up because they have plenty space. But professors, the chances that they will have space is not as much as that of a someone that is still coming up.
Okay, so let me just quickly add to that. So the thing is about this thing is that also what kind of email do you send? That's a problem because I've seen emails people send. They are really not even people. Not some people will just read and not even respond because it's kind of I don't understand it. So you also know how to write a soft email, the content, what you want to do, how does it alarm the person, let them know that yes, you really have an idea of what you want to do. And also because people are so busy, other people are also sending them emails. So always send a follow-up email. At times they might I missed your email, but when you send a follow-up, they will respond to it. So please have good content of your email, learn how to write a soft email, and also do a follow-up. If possible, if you can find it on LinkedIn, go and connect. I do it also. So just try to go the extra mile, do what others might not do, so you can stand out and get that person within the short time you have.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. So next question: can I get the scholarship without IELTS exam? So I think we've talked about this already when we answered the question about Leeds in particular. But in general, if you are from an English-speaking country and you've studied, maybe you've studied your undergraduate degree in English, the chances are that your university will give you an admission. And the IELTS or the English requirement is not a scholarship requirement, it's a university requirement. So when your university gives you admission, Commonwealth assumes that they have checked your language proficiency and that your language proficiency is sufficient. So an unconditional offer says that you already have English proficiency. Many universities waive language exams for people that speak English. If you are in Nigeria, you have or in West Africa, you have the West African Senior Certificate Examination, and you have C6 in English, and it's not more than 10 years old, so universities take that. But a letter from your undergraduate university that you studied in English, or from your employer that you work in an English environment, can also serve as language requirement. Next question. You mentioned making multiple applications through different nominating agencies. What if the applicant is nominated by, say, 2 nominating agencies? Would that affect the applicant's chance? I think the short answer is no.
No.
Yeah.
They withdraw one and give you the other one. That's
I think sometimes they ask you to choose which one you want to go for.
I think maybe that should be for shared. I don't think it applies for regional, but I think you should bother about you just applying. Let them worry about whether they'll pick 3 or 2. That's
For real. Because this is not your job.
Yeah, you've not gotten one. You're only worrying about 2.
But the honest response is they that's what they do. They withdraw the other one from one nominating agency and give you the other one, because by the end of the day, your first choice, your second choice are all the same. So they'll just give you, this is the scholarship. You made the scholarship to study at the university A, B, C, D, E. So you just choose to go with the first choice that you did, or you change. But because it's all of them are it's coming from different nominating agencies. It's one person, so they just withdraw the other one and give you the other one, and give you the choice of selecting the universities that you put in your application.
I think I like Baz. He's very optimistic. He's already aiming for like 2. That's great.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I want to think on the other side. I want to be on Ejiro's shoes now.
Please, be there.
Yeah.
I want to say that well, this is my personal experience. To increase my chances somehow, I kind of mix up my first and second chances. So for each nominating agency, I think I had different like order and different schools. I'm not advising anyone to do this, but that is how I figured out which nominating agency they finally took, because I think finally 2 nominated, but like I already knew the order in which I had put the schools for each of them. So I knew, okay, this one. But like you mentioned, in the end, they are the ones to do it. So what they're going to do is they'll remove one, and then they're going to give you to one. Just make sure that you have admissions for the school. That is your job now.
Yeah.
The other ones is not really your problem.
Okay. Please, can we apply without the NYSC leaving certificate or an exemption letter? This is a Nigerian specific question. And like I said before, if your nominating agency is the Federal Scholarship Board, the NYSC is a requirement is usually a requirement, right? I think it should still be a requirement because it's a government parastatal. But if you are nominated by an NGO, this may not be a requirement for them. So the answer is it depends on the nominating agency. But for the scholarship, they don't really care about whether you've done NYSC or not. I think that's as simple as the answer can be. Next, I would love to study a master's in environment and development at the University of Leeds. I would love to know if the panelists have any tips on preparing an application to the University of Leeds. Okay, I think we've seen a similar question like this before. What I'll just do is, because I'm from the University of Leeds, send me a message on LinkedIn. Just search LinkedIn using my name, the name that's displaying on my picture here, and then send me a direct message on LinkedIn, and then we can talk about the University of Leeds. Can we move to the next question, please? Thank you. Is it possible to apply again the same
Yes,
Larissa, I wanted to say something.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask if you can at least probably just give the highlights on the main tips for those who may not ask also the question but are interested in the University of Leeds, because it's coming up 2 times already and we keep pushing them back. If we can just say something briefly.
About tips on how to apply for University of Leeds. That's a very long conversation, though.
We can make it very
Okay,
short.
okay.
It's simple. You go to the website, they have application process, get your personal statement, get your transcript, get your certificate, write personal statement, and fill in the form. I think it's straightforward like any other school.
Yeah, and reference letter too, because I
And
think
reference letter, yes.
yeah.
I think we have to go back to the word READ, read. Don't go to the website. No, seriously, because truth is that we cannot answer everything. We are also students. We are studying. We have our time. So this is a voluntary work. So you also have to do the work yourself. Okay, maybe once in a while we can have other session, but for now, let's just do the scholarship, which is the main goal. Thank you.
Yeah. So, next question. Is it all right to address more than one SDG in your application regarding development contribution? I think we've also answered this one. So, next one. Because of time, this will just be a little bit fast. Do we need to make a different application to nominating agency? I just joined. My apologies if my question has been previously answered. Okay, so I think the answer to this one is that your question has actually been previously answered. So you may want to go back and watch the recording and get the answer to the question. But yes, you have to make an application to nominating agency. Larissa, why are you laughing?
Because very soon Ejiro will say we are harsh. Please just answer the question.
Yeah, answer the question. Sorry, I answer the question.
Yeah, the answer is you have to make an application to nominating agency that's different from what you're doing on the Commonwealth website. So yeah, you have to. And without that, your application is not yet complete. But like I said, if you go back to watch the recording, you might get more detailed information. Please, do references count for the word count? I think this is a PhD question.
Yes, probably.
Just in case
yes,
just in
references to
who's speaking?
count.
So,
Yeah,
okay.
as part of the 750. It's charity, yes. Am I audible? I've been
Yeah.
having slight
Please,
network
that was
issues.
me.
Oh, good. Yes, the references are part of it. Everything should be 750. Yes, I think someone already mentioned using the Vancouver method where you use the numbering and then for in-text citation, then the full referencing at the end. Yeah, so it does count. Yeah.
Okay, so yes, it counts. Shall we move to the next question?
Yeah.
Okay. Hello, I have completed my application for the Commonwealth Master's Scholarship on their portal. What are the next steps? Do I also need to apply to a nominating agency? So this is similar to the last question we answered. The answer is yes. You need to move now. Since you've completed the application on the portal, you can now move to getting nominating agency. And from what we've discussed, you can do multiple nominating agencies to increase your chances.
But then they have to check with the nominating agencies. Some of them you don't need to do anything. Just nominate them in the system. You don't even need to go to their website or submit anything to them. So by the end of the days, they have to see the nominating agencies they have selected and see what they want. Because by the end of the day, they can miss out some dates or some information that they want for that person to do. So she or he has to go back to the nominating agency's websites and read what is it is required of them to do after submission from the portal.
Okay, thank you. Next question. Do you need an official stamp for references or it's optional?
Mm-hmm.
So let me say. So I used to work in rather academia, and what we do for references, if mostly we use it letterhead. Once you have letterhead, I don't think official stamp is fine is that important. But in the cases whereby there's no letterhead, then official stamp is when you need an official letter. There needs to be something, either a letterhead or a stamp. But for the Commonwealth application, I think we are supposed to upload, or we're supposed to just type in the reference? Because during my time, I think we have to just type in the reference or upload. I can't remember which one.
Yeah, I think even
I think they are uploading now.
yeah, I think they are uploading because even in our I'm already saying in our time, even last year they
Your time is just last year, like yesterday. I'm sorry.
because because
No,
even
our
last
time is not last year. Our time should be last 2 years.
Okay, so okay.
yeah,
We were
my own
ancient.
was last.
Yes.
Oh yeah, you're right. Even in our time, actually, we just wrote down the referees details, and they had to submit once you were nominated. I think that's what was done. But apparently now they are uploading. So the importance
Yeah.
of reading the portal because we might have outdated information.
They change
Yeah.
these things for that, like for masters last year we were just filling out their details and they were sending direct to their emails for them to fill. When it came
Exactly.
to masters shared, then we were uploading. When it
Yeah.
came to masters distance learning, because I applied to all of these, like that's how I
You're hustling for scholarship. Now that's the spirit. It's
yes.
like, but now you can
Yeah,
smile because you've gotten it. You're happy now. Then you're not smiling.
yeah. Yeah, so I think they just changed like the other year. I think for like for masters shared, we were sending emails, we were just filling out the emails. So it just depends on what they want to do for that year. So if that year they say okay, upload, you upload. If they say okay, put in the references details, you do that. Yeah.
You just read and follow.
Yes.
It might also be part of the test.
Yeah.
Talking about.
Yeah, they change these things. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, just on that same note, if you can get both a letterhead and a stamp, why not?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Why not?
Exactly. Why not?
Why not?
Mm, mm.
Why not?
So
True.
let's move to the next
More
question.
is better than less.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah. So can a 2023 BSc graduate apply without having undergone NYSC? So I think my previous answer on this also applies. It still depends on the nominating agency. So 2023 BSc means you graduated from school this year. So I'm assuming that the real difficulty will be getting transcript and certificate and those kind of things. Those are the kind of documents. But if you have all that and you can make a complete application, by all means, apply.
Apply.
Apply. You can get a nominating agency that does not require NYSC and they will nominate you, and that's also fine. If the
Yeah.
shed also becomes available, you can move to the shed because in the shed, nominated agency is the UK university. It may also not require NYSC. So you can also apply for that one when it's available. So by all means, apply. And like previously stated, it's a learning process as well.
Mm.
So in the process of application of the application, you also learn.
Which is
And then
really experience. Because
Yeah.
I know the story, so
thank you. You know, so me, I have a folder on my laptop that's scholarship application. There's,
Who
there's more
doesn't
than
have?
40 subfolders there.
And,
So I
and
know
then
what's
and then
happening inside there.
and then to every scholarship you have the year.
You have the year. Oh my God. This table you are shaking. A lot of us are on this table.
So,
I
but
have a special folder.
that
Oh
doesn't
my
mean that
God.
everybody will have to have
Yeah,
multiple folders. Or some people, I know people that got it on their first attempt.
yeah.
So the most important thing is that you apply. When you
Mm.
apply, then it's out of your hands now. You've done your best. But
but
when you don't apply, you've already disqualified yourself.
yeah, but I think it's good that some of us got didn't get the first time because now they can tell people what not to do and what to do. You get
Mm.
Yeah,
as
exactly.
we can come from
Exactly.
both sides, which is
Yeah.
good. So it's an
Yeah.
advantage. If you ask
So
me.
because even myself, if I read my first essays for Commonwealth, I know the difference.
Very true.
You
I
wouldn't
know
even
the
have nominated yourself if you're on the
no.
panel.
When I read it the second time, I told myself, even you wouldn't nominate me.
Are you serious?
It's true. No, he's telling the truth because after my first application, when I read it, I was like, I was even telling myself, "Oh, Charity, you have done well." This second time, when I went back and read, I said, "Good God, who read this?" I was feeling sorry for the person. So, So it's telling the truth.
You can laugh now, right? Because you've gotten it.
Well,
Yeah, you were crying.
Exactly. It's fun. It's no. That time it was not funny, my
not
dear.
at
Mm.
all. Not
I
at
I
all.
was doing both the what do they call it? The academic input, the spiritual input. Please, prayer is very powerful because there are some things you think is okay, but
Yeah.
praying will just make you point you in that direction and say this thing you should work on it. It's not going to help you.
Yeah.
And in my case, it really helped. There are some key changes I made in my second attempt, and I can boldly say those changes helped.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the next question is asking about. This is not a question actually. Please point me
Actually,
to
I
the
pointed
video of
it
the
out.
previous call.
Yeah, I pointed it out because I was wondering if we could maybe post a link because, like Ejiro is saying, we have to help. Apparently, we have been saying that it's on the chat, but people are not seeing. I mean, on the YouTube.
Okay. So if anyone can just get the link to that video and put it in the
Yeah, for
comment
this
section,
for this
I
one
think
too,
it will
I
help.
am bringing it out because I want to emphasize that we have had sessions on chevening, and everybody is also encouraged to apply to as many scholarships as possible for those who want to try. I mean, not put their eggs in one basket like Chisom said last time. Whether it's eggs or pineapples we are putting, I'm not sure, but yeah. Um,
Yeah.
this one too is not a question, but yeah, I think Buchi can say something on this.
Did you call my name?
Yeah, they. Let's
Okay, I
go.
need the mentor to review my essays. Well, I would say reach out to any mentor that you have or that you can find and request a review, and possibly you get positive feedback from somebody. But you also need to know that you shouldn't be scared to submit if no one reviews your essay. If
Hey,
you go through
I'll be
if you
scared though.
if you go no, I'm saying because no one reviewed my essays when I submitted.
The
Wow.
first time,
I
the
couldn't
first time
get
or
I
the
could
second
I
time?
asked a lot of people, they were all busy. This student life is not easy.
Wow.
Many people
Was
are
it the
doing
first
stuff.
time or the second time?
The second time.
Oh,
Even
okay.
even let's come out. Even me, I was busy for Buki. Buki, I did not read the essay. Come out, say it.
Uh-huh.
I did not.
Uh-huh.
But
Let's
I
say,
did not because I was busy. But I actually just give me some
were
pointers.
you feeling? Were you
No,
feeling?
no. Did I give me pointers or not? Should I give me
No,
pointers?
you get provided a lot of even sessions like this.
Or I could
When you
not.
go through these things and then personal pointers that you also
Yeah, I
included.
could not get everybody essays. That's the
So
truth.
you
And
can because a lot of people are
I can
if
also
you check
confirm.
the scholarship website, they will tell you that more than 60,000 people are applying.
Yeah, I can also confirm that Ejiro did not read my essays, and
hey
I.
God, but you are here today. Look
No,
at
You see,
you.
I just thought
no,
I
but
should also
the
point
point
it
is
out.
that you didn't read it and we are here.
And you
Yeah,
see, you don't need me. Okay, now let me also say my own. So I have a mentor that you read my own too. So let me say this now because this is really important because today I've been receiving many messages and calls and I'm like, I'm a student. I also have my time to study. I cannot be answering everybody. This is not a full-time job. This is voluntary. So I can that's why we host webinars. So please during my time, I think I almost had like an issue with a mentor because he thought I was lazy for me to ask him to even go through it. I actually felt offended, but I said no. I took that offense and worked on my work and got it and went back to tell him that I got it. And you were like, that's great. And today now we are best of friends. Now, what am I saying? Not everybody will have the time to read your scholarship. Let's be honest. We are busy. We don't want to collect money. We do it for free. So we cannot help you to our detriment. We are here to study so we can also help others in the future. So we host webinars. Please go through them. Ask questions. There are WhatsApp groups. Join and ask questions. If you get a mentor that reads your work, amazing. If you don't, please submit. I didn't get anyone. I'm here. But you didn't get me. It's here.
Wow.
Larissa didn't get me. I'm really sorry. Let
Just
me
to
apologize.
add,
I'm sorry. What are you adding? See, what are you adding?
Ejiro, no, don't worry. I'm not adding to the woto you are getting. Don't worry. I just want to say that um I'm very happy that even if you didn't read it, they got it. But for
Yeah, thank
those
you.
who are asking for persons to read their essays, I want to reassure you that by God's grace, you get that scholarship you are after. And then when you come in, they said to whom much is given, much more is expected. The CSC scholarship as it's being given to you, work is being handed over to you. So by God's grace, you'll be able to review other people's essay. I'm hoping you can. Bejiro, be reviewing essays.
No, I'm a video, I'm not of fault, but it's plenty. I cannot believe I did to Larissa. Larissa, I'm really sorry. I didn't know you guys.
Yeah, you didn't know me. You didn't even know I was going to come up.
But I did Buki, and I actually felt bad for Buki because Buki was in my course and I've already done a lot. I was tired. I was like, Buki, I want to be pointers, I just can't. So I'm really glad you actually did the work. So thank you for that.
From my experience, some people actually refuse to review my own essays. Of course, when I got it, I went back to tell them I got it. But at least three people reviewed my essays, and their input was very very helpful. Sincerely, I didn't know it's that hard not to get someone to review it, and I've actually reviewed for some for this set. So if the person is in health sector, I don't mind reviewing for him or her. If it's another sector, it will be hard for me because I'll have to spend more time. But if you're in the health sector, preferably genomics, I'm willing to help you review your essay. You can just check up my name on LinkedIn and send me a message. But of course, it takes a lot of time. So if you get the scholarship, when you come back, please help to review so many people's own too, because everyone have what they are doing. Wow.
Okay. Sometimes now it make me feel bad. Sometimes I review essays, but it was a lot for me to handle. I have my list that I do PhD a lot, but I cannot kill myself. It's plenty. As I
I
said,
understand.
Those
Uchi,
people
you
who
have
used
to
to review
moderate
my
this.
essay, I didn't get their perspective, but now I'm hearing the perspective from you. So I understand why they are busy. They have so many people even writing them at the same time, and they could not review my essay. I
even 2
wanted to take
a.m.
it
You're right,
personal. I
2
wanted to
a.m.
take it
2
personal
a.m.
with them, but I just found other people. And then for anyone listening and you want people to review your essay, you can also go to LinkedIn, mail as many people as possible. If you
Yeah,
mail 30 people, if you
you
see
find
particular
someone.
30, two might be willing to review your essays for you, even if it's to correct your grammars and all. Just
Yeah.
don't depend on one person. Try to spread your net because you don't know what people are going through part time, if they are available or not, if they have deadlines, if they have exams, presentations, and all. So you have to put that into context. If you don't feel bad, at
Oh,
least
believe me, I'm not feeling bad.
Yeah.
I just enjoy talking about it. So
No, we are just having fun about it. There's no hard feelings.
okay,
But
let's
I
move
just want
on.
to
So,
add.
No hard
I just want to
feelings. We're
add. Yeah, no
just
hard feelings. I just want to add to say that please, as much as you're looking for scholars, past scholars to read your essays, give it to your younger brother, your older brother, somebody who has nothing to do with your field. You will be amazed at what input they can actually bring to your essays. So give it to anybody around you, especially somebody who does not know what you're doing. Just give them and you will get feedback.
Yeah.
Yeah,
True.
yeah, I
Yeah,
concur.
I taught someone to write their essays like they're explaining them to a 5-year-old because
yeah, yeah.
if you give it to someone else who is not in your field, then they'll give you like, okay, what does this mean, what does this mean? Then it tells you that the other person who is going to read is totally going to be not from your field. So you have to write as you're explaining to a 5-year-old, and then someone I'll say, okay, and then write it like you're explaining to a 15-year-old, but don't write as if you're writing to someone who is in your field, then you miss the point. Yeah. So something like that.
Sometimes I think you already have a client. Somebody just wrote, I'm in the health sector. So they already have a client. So please keep it to something. She's really available. Okay.
Okay. Let's
Well,
move on because of time. Yeah. Yeah.
okay.
So
Yeah.
next question. In the application, they asked if I was applying to other scholarships, and I said yes. Hope I'm safe. Yeah. I
Yeah.
would say you are safe.
Yourself.
You're very safe. Uh, Next question. There are almost similar essay questions between Commonwealth Shared and Commonwealth Scholarship. Can I use the same essay for both? I'm guessing Shared and Masters is what you're talking about. And yes, the essays
Yeah.
are very similar. But like we've said, try to rephrase, paraphrase, rewrite, because like I said before, the the scholarships are not exactly the same. There are places where they differ and requirements are different, like choice of universities and things like that. So you need to review and check. Oh, this particular question is for Ejiro. Is there age limit applying for Commonwealth Masters?
Um, so I was kind of to look for the link for the YouTube laptop.
Okay, no problem.
Just handle that, please. Let me post
Yeah,
the link.
yeah, but there's no age limit. because I've seen scholars that are in their 20s and I've seen scholars in their 60s. So there's actually no age limit. So
But
I don't think.
Yeah,
I don't
again,
but
think.
again, you might want to read the eligibility criteria for yourself to see and confirm.
Yeah.
yes, I was going
So
to point that out as well. And then your
okay, so shall we move to the next question?
Yes.
Thanks so much for the answer. So does that mean I will apply to the nominating agency even before applying to Commonwealth? Also, please, is there someone that used the NGO because I'm currently serving and have not received my NYSS certificate? Yet, as I hear it is a requirement for FSB. I am a Nigerian. I'm sorry, I just learned how serious this nominating agency is. Thank you. Just to mention, you don't need to do the nominating agency before applying to Commonwealth. You can do them at the same time or depending on the nominating agency's criteria. I would also say you should visit the previous webinar so you get more detailed information. But also, we know that the NGO FAWE nominates females. And so that can be a good starting point for you if you are not yet, if you feel you don't qualify for FSB. So you can look into FAWE. I know a lot of people that have gotten through FAWE.
I got
So you can explore that as a very possible option. In addition to other nominating agencies as well.
Just to
So
quickly add,
yeah.
please
No,
finish.
go ahead.
Just to quickly add, most of these people, they have deadlines earlier than Commonwealth. Why some is later than Commonwealth? So please, to be safe, you need to know what their deadline is. It's very important. So that goes back to go to their website, knowing their eligibility criteria, including the deadline for submission, because most of them don't have the same date with Commonwealth. And please, just to be safe, I think most people are limiting themselves to just FSB Farewell. There are other agencies that can nominate you. So go through the whole NGOs. Some of them have affiliations in Nigeria. Just check and explore it for your own. So the more options you have, the better.
Okay, next question. I'm interested in the University of Leeds for transport management. Is there age limit in applying for the Commonwealth Masters? I think same answer as before. Check the eligibility criteria, but age is usually not a limiting factor, but still check the eligibility criteria for the Commonwealth Master Scholarship.
So
It's all on the website.
Charity was trying to say something like for age limit, some nominating agencies may have, although the CSC does not have. Either way, they should read it. I think I just read that in the comment section.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for that.
So they should try to read the websites for both the nominating agencies and the
CSC.
CSC.
So if you see on the screen, there's a link. I will put on the chat, but there's a link to the past webinar on Chevney. After a while, I want to put the same for the Commonwealth. So we're still going to put on the chat. So just for your visibility. Okay.
Okay. Thank you for that, Ejiro. So what is the most important part in filling the application form? What should I pay attention to? I want to say everything, but it might sound harsh.
No, of course. No, of course. That's it. It's the whole package. Yeah.
But it's everything. There's no part of the form that is not important, because any part of the form you neglect will lead to incomplete application.
Yeah.
So pay attention to everything.
Everything, literally everything.
I think one important thing is also the mindset. So if you have a mindset that you want to do this thing, you need to invest in it. People just do it as child's play. I'm sorry to say this. Some people just do it just to pass, like, oh, whatever. It's like you want to build a house, you want to do an investment. You have to think about a lot of things. So you need to have the mindset to invest your time in it and give it your best shot. So yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Next question. In regards to English language, if one is from the Commonwealth country but study in a Francophone country for his BSc, what are the chances? I would like to say, I think we have Francophone countries that studied in English or that are part of the Commonwealth, but it's still not a limiting factor if you can have a form of English language proficiency. It may not be from your BSc, it can be from your workplace, it can be from previous studies, maybe A levels or something like that. You can also take a language test if you can.
Yeah.
But the point is, this is dependent on the school you are applying to. It's usually dependent on the school you are applying to. The school will have it on their website. What are the eligibility criteria for language requirement? And then you can see, or you can look through. And if you look through the website and you still feel that you don't qualify, but you know that you have sufficient English language skill, send the university an email.
I just want to, I don't know where this person is from, but in Cameroon, you have the English and the French speaking part. And I want to tell this person, Harry, that you have equal chances of getting the scholarship or getting into a school like any other person. You just need to have a proof of English language. That's all. So you should not feel discouraged. Take all your chances. You have all the chances.
Thank you. Next question. Can one use references for last year, or how long is a reference letter valid? Reference letter, oh wow. I think there's something about this on the website. I'm not really sure, but I think there's something about this on the CSC website. Is anyone sure?
I'm not sure either.
I'm not so sure, but I'm just thinking about the dates.
Yeah, but personally,
So
I would feel
don't know.
as a personally, I would feel that a year ago, it might not matter if that's all you have, submit it. But if you can get an updated version, I would say you should try to do that.
Yeah.
However, some scholarships and school actually specify reference letter duration within the next
Yeah.
6 months, 3 months. So you need to, I think you just go and read the website because that information we don't know. Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
when we're applying, we actually know everything, but right now we're not applying, so you need to do the reading. Yeah.
Okay. Next question. Please, do I need to apply directly to the FSB, or I just need to choose FSB during my application? You need to apply directly to FSB.
And choose FSB during your
In the
application.
application.
Both.
Yes.
Yeah. Both.
Thank you so much, guys. I've started my PhD program early this year. In the application process, should I indicate that I've started my PhD program? So I'm guessing that means you started your PhD program in your home country, and you're trying to get the scholarship to do the PhD now outside the country, in the UK. So to me, this is my personal opinion, stating that you've started the PhD program does not add any points to your application. So I don't see how it's relevant.
But
Because no, I'm just saying, because if you get the scholarship, if you've done the process of getting your proposal and getting a supervisor in the UK, it might be different from what you're currently doing now. So you might want to take that into account. It might not be the same thing that you're transferring.
yeah, I just wanted to add that they might want to read on the PhD application specification. If I'm not wrong, they specified that when you're applying for a PhD, you should not have started the PhD studies themselves already. So they need to cross-check if they have started the PhD studies in the UK and they want to apply for the Commonwealth scholarship to fund that, then I think that may be a disqualifying factor. But they need to cross-check that on the application requirements. That's, I think I read somewhere there.
Yeah, no, you are correct. I am aware of that. If you've started the PhD in the UK and you're applying for funding, then it does not, I think it
Yeah.
automatically disqualifies. But
Yeah.
I'm talking about a situation where you've started the PhD maybe in your home country and you now want to move to the UK.
Yeah.
So you're still eligible. You should be eligible. Read through the website. But
Yeah.
mentioning it in the application process, I don't really see where you would mention it. Maybe unless in your personal statement, but it does not add any real value to your application, if you ask me.
No, I think there's a part in the form that said that you registered in the degree, I think, right?
I really can't remember.
I think so because somebody in the masters asked me about 2 days ago that they asked me, am I registered in the, I asked the person, are you doing the masters? She said no. I said no.
Yeah, they asked that question if you are studying or something like that, something like
Okay,
that.
if you're currently enrolled on a program or something
Enrolled
like
in a program or something. So if they ask you for the master's application, so yeah, some people are confusing having an admission and being enrolled. So it's no if you're not enrolled and you're not even studying. Because having an admission and being enrolled are two different things. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next question. Still on. How long after applying should I expect a feedback from Leeds University? The answer to this question is I don't know. I really don't know. It depends on the application process. It really depends. It could be 2 weeks, it could be 6 weeks, it could be 3 months. But just apply. Next question. Do I need to have an admission offer from university before applying for the scholarship? My apology. Oh, already gone. Larissa, you're too quick. My apologies if this has already been tackled. Okay, well, the answer is no. You don't need an offer to apply. Okay, question from Amos. Hi, panel. Thank you so much for this session. From your last session, we agreed that you should not use exactly the same essays you had submitted previously. So for this year, can I use the same essays for CSE General and Shared Scholarship? Does it mean for a scholarship, an applicant should be changing the essays completely? Because most things are similar. I think we've given an answer to this, but the real thing is, like I said, the scholarships, the fact that there are different scholarships should tell you that there are different requirements. The essay questions or the essay prompts might look the same, but you still need to understand exactly where the differences are. You may not need to generate new essays from scratch, but you can take your already existing essays and rework them for each application. Because I know that people even use the same essays from Commonwealth and rework them to fit into Shivni and fit into other applications. But the point is, don't do copy and paste. I always tell people, don't do copy and paste. Because when you do copy and paste, you miss out on details that you need to work on. So try to rework the essays as you're transferring it to a different scholarship. You might even read it and find out that there's something you need to improve. So it's always good to go through it again. Between this 17th October and the next deadline for shared, something different. You may notice something different. You may notice something new about your application. You may notice somewhere you need to improve, and you can add that and make it better. So the summary is, don't be lazy about the application process. Like Adro said, you really need to invest a lot into it.
It's a full time.
Yeah, so you need to tell yourself the truth. If you're applying for masters and you want to apply for shared, it's because you want to diversify. If it's investment terms, you want to diversify your portfolio. If you're diversifying and you're copying the same essays into the next place, if they didn't pick you for masters, what makes you think they'll pick you for shared if you are submitting exactly the same essay? So you need to also think about it that way and try to see that if you can rework, like Clarissa did in her own, she even changed courses and arrangement for nominated agencies to try to increase her chances. So that's being proactive about it, if you ask me.
Okay, Buchi, can I say something, please?
Yes,
Sorry.
yes.
Yeah, it's Lillian back. Sorry, I left the meeting, so I was on transit. So the point I'm trying to make is this: I want to tell people to see this application as a project you want to carry out. So they give you like 1 month plus application. Every day you should have something to do on the work, and don't relax maybe 1 week to and start putting things together. No, see it as a project and try to utilize your 1 month. I don't mean to discourage anyone, but you still have time if you've not started. But then don't begin to copy and copy and copy. No, see it as a project and give it your time. At least if you do your best, then you leave the rest for God. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. So next question. We'll try to answer as many as we can, but our time will soon be over.
Yeah, so, I think we are almost done. Let's just
let's hope more questions don't pop up.
Just a few. Hello. I think after this we'll
Hello, team. The University of Sussex gave me an unconditional offer, but want me to provide my original certificate. Unfortunately, my university stopped printing certificates since 2017. What I have is testimonial. Any advice for me? Well, this is a university-specific problem. And my first instinct is email the University of Sussex and let them know your situation. And they'll be able to advise you on the next course of action. Let them know that your university does not print certificates as of this year. Then if they need to get an official email from the registrar of your university to their own email to confirm, you can do that. There should be some alternatives, but you need to email the university to ask.
Yeah.
Man, picture you like how would I put the word? Frequency ask question for AI. You're already giving the answers, like it's amazing. But that's true anyway. That's great. That's great.
Yeah. I think I did something like that at some point when I got my first admission at Leeds. I didn't have my certificate. So I had to send them an email that is not ready before
Yeah.
I now had to defer and things like that.
And I didn't do your essays.
We're not going back there.
I'm sorry.
Please, can the link to the WhatsApp group be sent? Thank you. Ejiro, can you do that?
No,
Someone's asking for the link to the WhatsApp group. I don't know if you can share it.
For the purpose of spam, I rather maybe you can approach any of the speakers on LinkedIn or social media and they'll send it to you. I don't want to spam the different people can just join and
Okay,
just,
yeah. I totally understand.
you can post it in yes.
Yeah,
Just send us.
it's a public it's too public to just post it here. So
Yeah.
So just message any of the speakers on LinkedIn. They will be able to help you out.
Or social media, whatever.
Yeah, or on YouTube or anywhere. Let's try to reach someone. Next question. I deferred my admission last year. Hope it won't affect my application. And I'm nominated by any. What is the way out? The first part of the question, the deferred admission will not be a problem. I use the deferred admission to get my scholarship. The second part of the question, I think there's a mistake in what you've written. So maybe you can clarify by retyping your question in the comment.
I like this question. AI. I just got the key AI.
Which is the question now I saw. I was about to answer that question.
Oh. Okay.
This one?
Oh, yeah. It says, can I take it? Okay.
Yes, please. Go ahead.
Okay. The person, Oladimeji, is asking that he deferred his admission last year and hope it won't affect application. No, deferring your admission doesn't have anything to do with your application. The most important thing is that you have admission. I equally deferred my admission. Had admission for January start, but because I wanted to apply for Commonwealth, I deferred my admission to September start. So that shouldn't be an issue for you, as long as you have the admission. So, and I'm nominated by an agency. Have you been nominated by an agency? I don't understand the second part of the question.
Yeah, it's not very clear. I think he should retype that part and send back in the comment section. Maybe
If
we'll be able to
still
work on it.
connected.
Yeah, if he's still here, he should retype and send back. Yeah, so next question. I'm using AI to paraphrase my own written essay. Will it not lead to disqualification? I think we talked about this previously.
What do you think, Mohammed?
Personally, I will always say don't use AI. It's too risky. If you ask me, it's too risky. It's too risky. You know, even us that are students here, they always tell us in class, don't use AI to paraphrase. Don't use it to generate code. There's a lot of, how will you put it? There's a lot of technical issues around integrity and use of AI right now, especially in the UK. So we don't know what policy that they are coming up with to combat the use of AI. So people have gotten the scholarships without the use of AI. So I don't see the reason why you need to use AI. AI might just take away the human element from what you're writing.
I think we use MI, my intelligence.
Even before AI, you've been writing essay and you've been writing things. So now that it's AI, shouldn't take away what you should have been able to do for yourself. In my own opinion.
Yeah, because personally, I always feel that when you read someone's essays, you can get a feel of who the person is from the essay. There's usually a similar tone and a kind of way that the person talks that you can try to gauge who the person is. And someone reading your essay will enjoy that because it's like getting to know you. But when you bring AI into it, it takes away the personality of what you're writing. And that might now make it seem off to the person that's reading it. So, well, I would just advise not to use it because
Don't use
because
AI.
it doesn't improve what you're writing really. People got the scholarship without the use of AI, so don't take that risk.
And they don't have to be perfect. They don't have to be perfect. Even if you don't use grammarly, but what you're trying to convey, it makes sense. At least just use grammar here and there, and then you're okay. So, like I would give me in my case, I didn't even have that grammarly paid what. I just used the same free version and submitted. At least it collected some grammar and it had some grammar that wasn't even perfect, but at least there was personality. So try as much as possible to put yourself out there without relying on this, because it looks, if it is artificial, even without them trying to put it on that AI checker or something else, just reading it will show that this is not the person who wrote it. This is AI. So yeah.
Okay, so another question. There is a part that requested if you are currently enrolling in a. Okay, I think this is what we were talking about before.
Yeah, Larissa, please the current question. That was a mistake on my part. I clicked that mistakenly.
No, I'm the one who clicked it. This is the person who asked if
Oh,
mentioning that he was in a PhD program was going to cause a problem.
Hmm.
Like
Okay,
when we
okay,
are,
this is a follow-up.
yeah, this is a follow up.
Okay, so
I
okay.
think we're done. Those are the
Okay, is that all the question? Oh wow.
yeah.
that's
Wow.
great.
The question.
Hmm.
Just give me 1 minute and let me just quickly check the LinkedIn. I know that there's some questions. Just a minute. So sorry. Then just put it.
Yeah.
Um. Okay.
Why is everyone is looking tired?
I
Okay.
said
Then that's
let me
just
just
great.
put
Yeah.
Oh,
her head.
I've been on transit. All this while we started the meeting from one place to another, and 2 hours is just gone.
Wow.
I just want to say something because the truth is that we are here. It's night. It's actually very late where Chisom is, and we are here giving up our time, volunteer to help you. The least you can do is to invest in this application. Choma is working on transit, helping out. I remember there was a mentee which I had. She was actually in a hospital and she was applying. I was almost like, "Girl, what are you doing?" Like she wants to, and today she's here. So please, you need to want this thing, have the mindset to want it and invest in it. Because even if you keep talking to tomorrow, if you don't want it, if you don't invest in it, you're just here talking to air. I'm sorry, but that's the truth. Yeah. I think that's all the questions on LinkedIn. So yeah, it's fine.
Oh, okay, okay. So I think we've come to the end of the session. The links to the previous webinars have. Oh, new question just popped up. Anyway, let me just say the link to the previous webinars have been put on the comments. So try to go through them. This particular one will also be available. The recording of this Q&A will also be available right after we finish, still on the same YouTube channel. So always come back and rewatch it if you want to refresh your memory. But let's take this last question before we close. Must I have admissions first before applying for the Commonwealth Scholarship or any other nominating agencies? Oh, wow. This
They've
is even a
answered,
good question.
they've answered over and over and
So,
over.
so the answer is no and yes,
Mm-hmm.
because it depends on the nominating agency. It depends on the nominating agency. I think this was one of the first questions that we answered. If your nominating agency is saying that you must have admission before they nominate you, then it is a requirement. You have to deal with that on their side. The Commonwealth, the CSC portal does not require you to have admission before you submit your application on the portal. So if it's for CSC portal, that's not a requirement. But your nominating agency might have that as a requirement. So look at the requirements of the nominating agency and try to work with that.
If
I think all of us here are from different nominating agencies, so we might not be able to pinpoint exactly. So when you pick a nominating agency, check that you're eligible, make sure you meet their requirements, then check their nominating process and see what the process entails and follow that. It's a process, so you need to take your time to do it.
Sharon, I just want to add to this because for this is I think particular for those in PhD. So if for any reason your nominating agency wants an admission as part of the eligibility criteria, and you have already gotten the supervisor and they've agreed to admit you, but it's taking time due to administrative bureaucracy and all the stuff, it's simple. And this is what a colleague did. The school had to write something for him saying he had gotten an admission, but right now the official letter is not out. But he's already going to be admitted. So that was what he used to present to FSB. Now I didn't know this. He told me this. So these things are not like so tight. There are ways you can also do it, because at the end of the day, he got his PhD and now he's going to study it. So at times, some things are beyond your power, but at least give it your best shot. That's what I'm saying.
And another thing is not just backing out when something when you're seeing a red flag. Find a way around the red flag. Correspondence, send emails. You never can tell. You may get a positive feedback. Okay? Don't just say, oh, there's no point. They said I should bring admission letter. I don't have it. There's no point. I can't apply. No. Always give it a go and see what comes out of it.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people will go to their CV and write good problem solving skills. This is the time to use those skills.
But who are you? I call you MI. Is it what my intelligence or whatever? You are something else. You are the future.
So those problem solving skills you put on your CV, it's time to use them. Think outside the box. Find the solution to the problem. Don't allow any challenge to stop you from applying.
Yeah, I want to add this. Sorry, please.
Yeah. No. I just wanted to say, I like I always say, I tell my friends, I tell people that ask me, they said everyone has excuses. Everyone has an excuse not to apply. And the scholarship commission will be happy if you don't apply, because it gives them less work to do. Because it takes people are paid to go through these applications and choose. So they lose nothing. They gain a lot when you don't apply, but you lose everything when you don't apply. Make your application. Send them, let them do the work of going through your application. Let them do the work of choosing you. Send a very good application. Let them be the ones to say, oh, sorry, not now, or they'll send you the congratulatory email, whichever one. You may sometimes you get, and maybe some people don't know that there are nominated candidates and there are reserve candidates, and then reserve candidates can also be upgraded. I was a reserve candidate and I was upgraded. So that everything is not perfect does not mean you won't get it. You might be reserved, and at the end of the day, you will be upgraded. So make sure you submit an application. And please be conscious of the deadline, the time, and the date, and the time conversion. If your time zone is different from the UK time zone, make sure you know the actual time the portal is going to close. Don't assume that you've read it. Don't assume that you know. And I always say target to submit 24 hours before the actual date that they put there, so that you are sure that you don't meet traffic on the website and that you are free from any technical difficulties while submitting. Don't allow, after all you put all the hard work, it will be a technical difficulty that's going to stop you from making your application. So please think about that.
Deadline syndrome.
Just to add to our speakers, please, some people would like to connect with you. If you can just quickly drop your post, I think it's kind of small on the screen. Maybe drop your name or possibly your social media contact or LinkedIn profile, the way they can reach you. That would be appreciated if you can do that on the comment section. And so while they are doing that, just to say this, please, we know that everybody have situations they're facing. So at times you might think we don't understand, but we all have our stories. It's only you that know where it's hurting, but I would say give it your best shot. I remember I think I applied with my phone. You know what it means to apply with the phone? And once the network, I will start again. I'll start to cry. Oh my God, I'm starting again. This was frustrating. At least, but the next one I use my laptop. So at least I got the laptop. So that's that. And also people keep telling me, should I use FSB? Should I use this nominating agency or that? What if they don't nominate me? What if they do? You don't know. It's better you give all your shot and they don't, and you smile than you say you would not. If you choose not to use a nominating agency, you just made it 1% less or 1% less competitive. That's the truth. So please go out there and apply to any agency you think you are eligible to. I had two mentees that told me, I don't need FSB, I don't know anybody, blah, blah, blah. As I speak today, I said just do it, and they are doing their PhD now to the same FSB that they don't know anybody. So whatever agency you think you are qualified for, please just apply. Do not listen to grapevines. Do not listen to hearsay. There are people say this one doesn't. Please just apply. That's all I can say.
I think we have questions in the comment section.
Sorry?
I think we have questions in the comment section.
Okay, I think I just saw one question that I just want to answer. That's talking about 2 year or 1 year. Please, if you're talking of masters, it's only 1 year programs that are eligible. It still boils down to reading the CSC website. It's all written there. You're only eligible for a 1 year master's program that starts in September. It's all written on the website. So if you are using a 2 year program, it means you didn't go through the criteria, unless the criteria has changed. So read and find out. Okay, okay. I'm trying to make, let me see. So maybe if the speakers can just put their names in the comments so that we close, so that people can try to connect with them on LinkedIn. But I think our names are back on the screens as well. So that should be that. I think we've come to the end. So I don't know if anyone wants to say anything before we officially go offline.
I want to start, then maybe others can continue. I want to first say thank you to our speakers. It's really good that we are doing this out there to help our education, help access to opportunities, scholarships. So what we are doing, I want to say that is great. Nobody's paying you. You're taking your time. I want to say thank you for being here tonight and always being trying to answer us and also read essays. So thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
For me, I would say anyone who was here, go back and read the Commonwealth scholarship website, because the views that we gave you were just how they helped us to some of the things that we think they helped us, but these are not the views of Commonwealth. So if you want anything that is official, anything at all, go back to the Commonwealth website and read. And also email them, because they put contacts. If you're unsure, you have read everything there and it's not covered, and what we've given you is not even covered, go and write them emails. They are happy to answer you. The same with the schools. Don't rest with a no. A no can be turned to a yes. Even if you get a no in the admission and you put your case up forward, why have you declined me? These are my qualifications. This is what I did. This is what I did. They can even overturn that no to a yes. So don't rest. Do it. Put your best foot forward, and all is going to be well. Thank you.
Thank you. Any parting words from Chisom or Larissa?
I don't really have much to say. You guys just give it your best. Try your best and know that you gave it your best, so that at the end you will not have any regrets. And most importantly, like other people have said, try to read and read. Like sit down and read the website, because that's how you get basic information. Some of the questions that be asked today, if one has done a proper reading, you would have gotten the answer from the website. So you guys try and read, and then all the best.
Okay, thank you. What, Larissa, are you with us?
Yes, I am. I want to say thank you to all the speakers. Thank you to Ejiro for giving us this platform. Um, Thank you to the listeners, those who stayed till the end, those who are going to watch this afterwards, and those who were there from the beginning. So I'll just say that you should, if this is something that you really want, I don't think that's, even if it doesn't, of course the prayer is not that it shouldn't work out the first time, but we have to be realistic. They have a number of people that they are going to choose. So if you don't happen to be among those people this time, and this is something you really want, please don't give up. I think that's what I want to emphasize on. Please don't give up. Come back next year with more fire, with more force, with more passion. and give it another best shot. So you give it your best shot at every single time. And if you believe in God, do your best and let Him handle the rest. Best wishes to all the listeners, to all the applicants, and extend your chances. Apply for chevening, apply for the even. Oh, I also want to mention that there are also departmental scholarships. It's important to know there are scholarships that are being given in universities themselves, and they are fully funded sometimes. So you might want to go for the university you're interested in, check if they have fully funded scholarships by the university, and then even if you don't find them on their website, you can email them. I am an international student. I would like to know what are your funding options for me at your school. You will be surprised what you can get. Don't just focus on Commonwealth Shared, Commonwealth Masters, and Chevening. There are other very prestigious scholarships out there. All you need to do is ask, and you shall be given.
Thank you so much. Is anyone else? Charity, your parting words.
Okay. Um, Thank you so much for the opportunity. I think Larissa really
Charity, audio is a little faint.
job summarizing it. Is am I better now?
Perfect.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. I said Larissa did a great job with the vote of thanks. So thank you. I just want to say, um, irrespective of the challenges anyone may encounter during the application process, don't let it deter you or stop you from still believing and pushing on. In my own case, two potential supervisors accepted and gave my application their supporting statement. One immediately sent a rejection straight away to the CSC, and it was a big blow. I can't explain the emotions behind it that time, but at the end of the day, I still got a scholarship. That's to tell you that even if someone midway rejects being your supervisor, it doesn't mean you will still not get that scholarship. All you need is
I think someone else should just take over. Yeah, when
Ah,
she comes in.
technical difficulties. Okay. I think she was the last person to speak,
No, I think
actually.
Chema hasn't spoken. Lillian. Lillian
Oh,
hasn't spoken.
Lillian has spoken. Lillian, haven't you spoken?
No, I haven't.
She haven't.
Okay, okay, go ahead.
It's my senior scholar. I want to put him inside trouble.
Everyone, thank you, Ejiro, for this platform. Thank you, Uchi, for organizing us this evening and most running of the session. Thank you, my fellow Commonwealth scholars and um, the to our applicants and the listeners, our audience. We thank you all for making it possible to be here. So, summarily, not to waste our time further, like I always say, see this as a project and make sure you're giving your best, okay? And don't allow anything to make you to back out, please. Do not back out. No matter what the situation is, there must be a way around it. Like you said, the problem solving skills we've always put on our CVs, try to bring them all out now. Even if you have admission and you feel that okay, I'm not getting this now, this is a learning process. Use this time to learn something. Use this time to build some skills that will help you in future. Okay, even if you apply this year, don't get it, don't give up. Don't give up. Okay, know that you've learned one or two things to help you. So my parting words, um, a few words I just want to drop here is see this as a project. Give your hands on it. If you're confused about anything, please communicate. I think the WhatsApp group link, I don't know if you shared it to everyone. You can come directly to our DM or have our contact and ask your questions after the session. I don't know if we're going to have more sessions. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
we might have some informal drop-in sections and we'll announce it. Maybe informal
Okay.
drop-in. People can just
Yeah,
ask. Yeah.
yeah, because I know that after now, people will still go back to the application and start
Oh,
filling
yeah.
that. continue and maybe asking some questions. Let's not drop. Let's not stop. Let's continue to communicate them until the deadline is
Yeah, we will.
over.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we will.
like something about the university scholarship. I know that my university there's the one they call the president. I can't remember the name, but president something something. This is fully funded. Try out other scholarship things, but don't. I'm not saying you shouldn't continue with Commonwealth. Finish up this one, but lay your hands on other things. You never can tell. If I tell you my journey of this my PhD, the way I got it, and all of that, it's just like maybe a story for another day. But to be honest, the journey was not easy. I gave up some certain things and I made some sacrifices. And in fact, I don't know. Let me just leave this for another day. But please do not give up. Just know that you are on the right track and you have the best way to communicate when you have any issues. I wish you success in your application and thank you.
Thank you, Becky. Let me just pass this announcement before you take over. I'm so sorry. Because we have some scholars that have won other scholarship, like the DAD scholarship, the Maria Colo scholarship. So we are planning to host those sections also because Commonwealth can't accept everyone. So let's be realistic, like she said. So we're going to host those sections also. And I also want to thank some of our scholars who are actually sponsoring this platform because we have people that design flyers for us. We have people that so we can advertise. We have people that pay for this subscription. So they don't want to be named. So I want to just say thank you to them for helping us to make this possible, and also for these scholars here coming to now speak on what has been provided. So I want to say thank you to all of you. Thank you so much.
Okay. So I think that brings us to the end of the session. And I would also like to thank everyone, scholars, participants, and the applicants. I also want to say well done to those that have started the applications, those that are still starting, those that are about to submit. And I also want to say well done for being in this session, because the fact that you're in this session alone shows that you're on the right track.
Yeah.
So take what you've gotten from this session, work on it. Like Lillian said, don't be scared to ask questions. If you have issues, reach out to people, ask questions. I think that's one of the most important skills that you need to learn now, communication. If you have a problem, communicate. Because that will also help you when you're also writing your essays to learn how to communicate. So just take that and be mindful of time. There's a countdown now. I think 17 days to go because tomorrow is 1st of October. So be mindful of that, work with that, plan yourself very well, plan the application process, plan your submissions, check all your requirements, nominating agencies and the rest. A lot of information has been passed. Take your time, digest it, work with it, and hopefully the next batch of scholars giving this kind of talks, you will be there to also talk about your own experience and also talk about whether somebody reviewed or did not review your essay. So that's on a lighter note anyway, but it will be good that most of you get this opportunity as well, because the scholarship is actually good. So it's worth the investment. I would say it is worth the investment of your time and your resources.
And I'll be happy to hear that feedback that, oh, I got the scholarship, oh, I got the scholarship. I'll be happy to hear that from all of you attending this.
Yeah. So I think on this note, we'll sign out. So thank you so much and see you guys later.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.